Thank you for taking this time out with us. We have about 50 of our amazing doTERRA team in Eric and Marina's home right now, actually upstairs. But we couldn't just keep it to ourselves. We wanted to open this training to all of you. As a culture, we all know that doTERRA is like a giant family, and when one succeeds, the rest succeed. And so this was just something that we couldn't wait to put out the invitation to you to uplevel your business and really start this fourth quarter with excitement, with skill set, and just to be ready to literally end the year to make it a good year. It's been a rough year, right? It's been a rough 2 years. I want this year to end amazing for you and your businesses and continue your legacy. My name is Susan Johnson, and I'm really excited to welcome somebody that you most all know of. And if you don't, you've probably been living under a rock, but that's fine. We won't judge you for that. But this man is actually the first person that I was introduced to in network marketing. My husband was in law enforcement when I started doTERRA, and somebody said, you know, MLMs, pyramid schemes, I don't really think you should be doing this. And of course, my husband, being working for the government, was questioning it as well. I had somebody recommend to read a book called GoPro. So my husband and I put it actually in audio and Audible. So we heard Eric read this book to us on a long drive to Vegas for a couple's getaway. It was after listening to that book that both my husband and I completely shifted our mindset. I couldn't even believe the way that he dismantled this belief that it's a pyramid scheme or all the crazy things we've heard, right? So from that moment on, I started listening to his podcast and just soaking in all the information. Eric Worre is the founding father of this industry, in my opinion. He wouldn't agree with that, but he is a true leader. And I'm so excited that you guys get to hear from him. I've been mentoring him with him for a year. He's amazing, and he has really changed my business. So welcome, Eric.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Hello. Great to see everybody connected. I was watching the chat before while we were figuring out the technical stuff and seeing people from all over the world.
Yeah. Buenos Aires, Hawaii.
Incredible. And we have somebody from Hawaii here I just met that you'll hear from later. So great to have you, doTERRA family, here in the house and virtually around the world. It's going to be a great day.
Well, thank you for doing this. Thank you for being willing to invest in our team with your time and your resources.
My pleasure.
I wanted to ask Eric, this was something that I just actually was reminding him earlier. I'm in a mastermind with Eric, and each week we get to meet with a top level group of leaders, top earners in our industry. And oftentimes he'll start the call off by saying, what is your challenge? What's hard for you right now? And so I had the opportunity to share, and I ended that call, walked upstairs to my husband in tears. And of course, my husband's like, oh no, what's wrong now? I'm like, no, these are good tears. But one of the things that he reminded me of is what a legacy company is. And so I wanted to ask Eric to just share with you what he shared with me about a legacy company, and that doTERRA actually is one.
Well, I mean, everybody wants to grow in sales, grow in influence, have an impact in the world from a corporate standpoint with products, but also with opportunity for solving problems for customers, which you guys do every day, opportunity for helping people who want to go into business for themselves, to be able to build that business. And especially today, I mean, what's crazy is this is a perfect time for network marketing, because in the last year and a half, what we've learned is the entire world is desperately searching for a way to be able to earn from home.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going to happen with all this stuff, you know? It looks like we're opening up, and well, maybe we're not, and then masks and all these different mandates and everything else. Who knows what's going to happen? But here's what I do know. A person involved in your business has the ability to take control of their life, and the ability to solve problems for people, and the ability to be rewarded for solving those problems. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would tell you is, I think I was just mentioning upstairs to the people here, I think you guys have broken virtually every record there is when it comes to growth and sales expansion, everything else. And you might think that that's normal. It's not normal. There's a reason why it's record breaking. It's extraordinary It's rare, and it's a testament to the quality of your products and the problems you're solving for people. So you have that accelerated growth. You take a look at what everybody wants to be is a problem solver for generations. And that's what you're set up to be. So with your company, your management team, your history, your growth, your sales, your innovation, everything else, it's created a stable environment. That doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. You know, there's times when you can talk to 10 people and 10 people are excited. And there's times when you talk to 10 people and one person's excited. And then everything in between. There will be ebbs and flows. There's nothing like a straight shot to the moon. It's going to be a combination of peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys over the course of the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years.
And on that, I remember you saying, and it might have been actually somebody else on the call, but there was a statistic about when a company is in growth mode, which we have been for the first 10 years of doTERRA starting, just substantial growth. But like you said, that's not sustainable. Do you remember, was there an average?
Well, here's the thing. It's very difficult to grow the leadership of a company in the field more than 10% a year. Yeah. Okay, so if you imagine 10% a year looks something like this. You guys have been growing at what? 30% a year, 40% a year? Probably average over the last 10 years? Probably. Something like that. So what happens over the course of that period of time is you create something of what I call a leadership gap, where sales have outstripped the leader's ability to be able to support it. So at some point, there's usually either a leveling off or a correction. Now, it's not a correction to reality. It's a correction on the perception of this huge sales. Yeah. It's just like a stock that's gone crazy for a while. It might need to rest for a bit, yeah, you know, for the fundamentals to catch up. But the good news is this. The opportunity that you had when you joined is available for a person today. All they have to do, I mean, and the thing that's exciting about what we do is, what does it cost? Well, I mean, to get involved.
$100 a month?
To sign up?
$100.
$100. Really? $100? So you have the ability, and here's the thing, you just got to get clear on this. The price of entry is very, very low, but you have to make up for that lack of financial investment with working your ass off. Average small business in the United States invests $55,000 to start that business. Average. 50% of them fail the first year. So you have to put in $54,900 worth of sweat equity before you can start to expect anything. You got to work your butt off. You can't just expect to sign up for $100 and just make all the money and there's no sacrifice. You got to make up for that lack of huge investment. Now, the cool thing is we've democratized entrepreneurship. We've made it available to everybody. Yeah. But you also got to make sure people understand that this is work. You got to make a decision. You got to learn some skills, right? And as you do that, you'll be able to take more action and get better results. But this is a profession. It's, you know, not just a project, and it's certainly not a lottery ticket.
No.
You know, and I know most people, not most, but a lot of people who join your company join with no intention of building a business. Right. They join because they want to be a member. Maybe they get the product a little bit less expensive or more convenient. And then it evolves into, wow, my friends like this, and wow, I could share this with others, and you know, maybe there's a business, maybe there's an opportunity. So that's all fine, that's all good. But when for those of you who are watching this, what my hope for you is that you see the unbelievable value and leverage there is in building a team. If you want to get wealthy, you have to have leverage. There's no other way. You cannot get wealthy trading time for money. It's impossible. But you get leverage in so many aspects Number one, you you connect a customer to the company, and you can get paid month over month, year over year if they continue to use that product based upon the one sale that you made. You continue to get paid. That's leverage. That's one form of leverage. Two, if you build a team of people, let's say you could put in 10 hours a week, and you build a team of 100 people who could each put in 10 hours a week. Well, now that's 1,000 hours, right? Yeah, 1,000 hours being of effort being put into place, and you're just still putting in your 10. That's another form of leverage, right? Compensation plan allows for this. And then if you can apply your leadership and take that money that you make and that you invest it wisely into some growth opportunity, that's a third form of leverage. So you can not just trade time for money, and it's great. You want to sell product, fantastic. That's trading time for money. Cool. No problem. It's a great opportunity. But man, there's so much leverage sitting here to be able to create wealth. What you do with it's up to you. Give it to charity, take care of your family, or, live higher. That's all your choice. But the opportunity's in front of you.
I love that. And I want to address two things that he just brought up. One was about a team. And then the second was, you mentioned, you didn't use the word, but you were talking about passive income. When you said using the funds and the resources that you've gained from building a doTERRA business and eventually investing it. I think a big misconception in network marketing, and we see this in doTERRA, I don't think any company is immune to it, is the idea that it's passive income. And he's already made it clear, right, that it is hard work and blood and sweat and tears.
There is some passive. I mean, like I say, you do get some leverage.
Right. Residual income is
there's some residual effect, but not every customer you put on is going to stay a customer for the rest of their life. There is something called the law of entropy, which means nothing lasts forever. Things fade. Bananas rot eventually. You know what I mean? Walls fall. What I've learned over the course of time is there's a little bit of a fake out where you think you can build it once and have it forever. Some of you have built up a great business and a piece of it fell apart. Somebody, quit or something happened.
Anybody? Does that happen to anybody?
That happens constantly and will continue to happen. We have two businesses. We're in the building business and we're in the rebuilding business. That's what we do. So you can't build it once, have it forever. I was just in Athens, Greece. They built the Parthenon and then it was torn down. And then they rebuilt it and it was torn down. And they rebuilt it again. It's been 4 times the Parthenon was rebuilt. Wow. And now it's just this ruin, right? And then I was saying to our tour guide, why don't they rebuild it again? And they're like, oh, no, it's just part of our history. And I said, well, it was part of the history before, but, rebuild it again. Why not? And I'll tell you a quick story. I went to Jerusalem one time, and I got a tour around Jerusalem. Very cool, historic, amazing, and from my upbringing, important city. And the tour guide told us that the walls around Jerusalem have been rebuilt 17 times. And I'm like, wow, and you'd think that they could build those walls once and have it for forever, right? Nope. The only part of the original wall is the western wall, what they call the Wailing Wall, the Praying Wall. That's the only part that's original. And 17 times. And do you think there'll be an 18th? Probably. I don't know when. I don't know how. And then a 19th and then a 20th. And then if it's important to you, you'll rebuild. That's what companies do. If you take Microsoft, they don't have the same employees necessarily growing the company as they had 20 years ago. Teams change, things evolve, but we have to have the emotional maturity to say, I built it. It was great, fantastic. I'm a grown-up. Part of it fell. I need to rebuild that part.
I love that. And that's where team comes in. Mm-hmm. I had the misconception, I don't know if any of you have done this or had done this at some point in your business, where it was all about rank. And I'm a goal setter. And if you give me a challenge, I am 150% into a fault. Like a challenge comes out, I'm wanting to take a season where I kind of step back and doTERRA puts something out. I'm like, dang it, now I got to go for it. But I had my eyes set on the rank rather than building a sustainable team. And you just talked to us last week. You shared with one of the girls in our mastermind. She set this goal that she's pretty far away from. And I want you to share what you told her on that call about the importance of maybe not having your eyes set on that rank.
I started in network marketing when I was 23 and very, very goal-oriented, rank-oriented, push. You know, if there's a trip, I got to qualify to go on the trip. You know, if there's a prize, I got to win the prize. And when you become rank-focused, and what I tell people is use these targets when they're useful for you, but not so much when they're painful for you. Because I had felt the pain of wanting to hit a rank and missing it, feeling like I was left out, feeling like I was left behind. And what I told this young lady was, I understand that you want to hit this rank in a very short period of time. I get it. But network marketing is filled with people who hit a rank one time and then never get back there. Tons and tons of people, they qualify one time. I'm sure there's tons of people in your company that qualified for a rank. They got the pin. They get to go to the cocktail party. They're part of the reception. They walk across the stage, but they haven't qualified at that rank for a long time. So what you want to do is make sure that you set your sights on building something that is sustainable. So yes, there's a spike, and reach for the spike and try and make all that stuff happen. But it's more important that you build something that you can keep and maintain. And even if you have to rebuild from time to time, you can hold that spot. Mm-hmm. You'll feel better about yourself. Because I was there too. I had the pin, I had the big shot deal, the trophies, everybody announced me as such and such and such. And I knew I really wasn't such and such and such, you know, because they had their income disclosures. And here's what, according to this income disclosure, here's what he's making. I wasn't making that, you know, I just wasn't. So yeah, I mean, look, we're here to build it for the long term. Don't let a short-term spike, knock you off of your game or cause you to do something that's so irrational and so crazy, and you just like squeeze all the juice out of the whole team. The team's exhausted and you actually go backwards, you know? So all of those things can happen. And look, most of you are watching and say, what? I'm making $250 a month and I'm hoping to get to 400. What are they talking about? We're talking about what's going to happen when you go to 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, and you move up in your business. Okay. Part of the grown-up part of growing an entrepreneurial venture is knowing that the game that you're in.
Well, and I hope for those of you who are just starting that you do realize that early on, that you don't make the mistake of just setting a rank goal, but rather focusing on a team and building a sustainable, solid team of people that you want to run with.
Well, and the other thing is making, people say, well, comparison is the thief of joy. Some people say that. Here's what I say. If comparison to somebody else motivates you and inspires you and causes you to move faster, use it. Yeah. Compare like crazy. If it's painful or it's discouraging, then don't use it. Don't compare. Compare yourself to yourself. But I'm so competitive, and I can sense that you are too, that if somebody else who's like within my reach is going for a rank, well, I got to get there too. So I'll use that. I'll compare myself to them, and I'll compare myself to somebody who seems to be on fire. Like, wow, they're really on fire. That inspires me to take more action. You know what I mean? So I use it when it's useful. I discard it when it's painful. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I think that actually leads us right into the next portion of this, which I'll be sharing about what to do when you're ready to give up, like the secret to not giving up. which actually has a lot to do with finding your why. And I know that term, in fact, sometimes saying that term, I'm like, like just, we overuse it. But this is key to this next piece, right? Is you are going to have hard days. And for those of us in doTERRA, it's been a season of less growth than we're used to, and a season of people leaving and people giving up. And so what is the secret to not giving up when it gets hard?
And let me share a couple things before I let you move on with your agenda. I can hear in your voice that it's been a season. I said season. Get it. But I would also tell you this. I worked with a company that went from $3 million in annual sales to $300 million the next year. Okay? Wow. Momentum like you can't believe. Could barely keep up. People making money hand over fist. The following year, they went from 300 to 450 million, and people started quitting because they thought it was over. Right? It was only growing 50% year over year instead of whatever, 10,000%. So a similar phenomenon can happen in you had this, crazy growth. And yes, your why is important, but I'm going to tell you what mattered for me, and a potential way that I can help you, help everybody watching to go to the next level. Can you throw can the chat go up on the screen that we see or no? If it can, it'd be great. Yes. Cool. If you'd like to take your business to the next level, put a number 7 into the comments. I want to see. If you want to take your business to the next level. All right, I'm seeing lots of
77.
Yeah, I'm seeing lots and lots of 7s. All right, fantastic. And the rest of you tourists, put a 7 into the comments if you're ready to go. Other than that, why are you here? Don't just sit back and act like you're the audience. I want to give you 4 steps to taking your business and your life to the next level, and then I have something really cool to share with you. Step number 1 is you got to make a decision. You got to decide. I was involved in network marketing for 3 years. I rebuilt my team 7 different times. I build it up, fall apart, build it up, fall apart, build it up, fall apart. I'm full time, build it up, fall apart 7 times. So if you've only had your team fall apart 1 time, you're way behind me. 7 times my first 3 years. And I was full time and I thought I made a decision, but I really didn't. I mean, a decision that I'm going to the top, period, end of story. Or they're going to find me dead on the side of the road. I'm not going back. I burned the bridges emotionally, mentally. And I said, I'm going. If somebody else can do it, I'm going to do it. I really made a decision. And for some of you, you haven't made a decision to really do it. And if you did, what you'll find is all of these little distractions and little discouragements and little, nonsense disappears when you make a decision. Because you don't have any other options. There is no other plan. There's only one way. So really making a decision changed my business and changed my life. And for some of you, you need to think long and hard and make that decision. And when you do, you're going to find that all this anxiety and all of these distractions and all of this nonsense fades really fast. And you get crystal clear on where you're going. That's number 1. Number 2, the thing that saved my life was not my why. The thing that saved my network marketing life was learning the skills. Learning the skills. Because you can be motivated all you want. You can jump up and down, but at some point you got to know what you're doing. And here's what I learned personally and what I've been training for forever is if you lack confidence, you're not going to take action. And if you don't take action, you have no chance for results. So, how do you gain confidence in anything? Learning the skills and putting them into practice is the only thing that provides confidence. The rest is just hope. Once I learned how to tell my story, I wanted to tell it more. Once I learned how to find prospects, my anxiety went away. Once I learned how to invite people to take a look, I wanted to invite more. Once I learned how to present in a way that was effective, I wanted to give more presentations. Once I learned how to deal with objections, I didn't let objections scare me to death, and I actually was looking forward to objections because I could build more rapport with the prospect. This stuff didn't scare me anymore. Once I learned the fundamental skills, the 7 fundamental skills we talk about, once I learned this, my confidence went up. And when my confidence went up, I took more action. And when I took more action, I got more results. And when I got more results, it made me want to sharpen those skills even more and tell people the story of what changed my life. And it was a virtuous cycle. If it's all why and no skills, yes, I really want this. You go out, you get smashed in the face. You're like, Do you want to go get smashed again? Usually not. So it becomes a destructive cycle. So the why is important, don't get me wrong. But if I had to pick why or skill, I would pick skill. Because skill creates the virtuous cycle for you to be able to build a business and not have to need anybody. So 1, make a decision. 2, skills are the thing. Just make a decision right now, the next 12 months, you're just going to become world class. That's what changed my whole life is I decided I was going to become an expert at network marketing. I decided I was going to do it, and I was not going to let anybody stop me. And the cool thing is nobody can. If you want to become an expert, you want to become world class, nobody can stop you. I mean, there's no politics and there's no rules that will cause you not to be world class. And once you are, you never have to worry about making money for the rest of your life. These skills are so highly paid in comparison to the difficulty in learning them. It's stupid if you don't learn them. So, skills number 2. Number 3, events change my life. Events are where leaders are born, whether it's online events, virtual events, big events, belief-building events. I say leaders are born at events, big decisions are made at events, great relationships are built at events, belief is built at events. People get mad at events. You know? How many of you, and I can see you guys upstairs, how many of you at some point, the reason why you're successful as you are today is because you got mad? Raise your hands if you got mad. Come on. Man, I can see you upstairs.
Not a lot of, there we go. There's some mad people.
If you got mad, just said, you know what? Enough. I'm not going to play small anymore. Say, so, well, that's a negative emotion. Not negative at all. If it moves you towards helping people and solving a problem, getting mad at playing small, getting mad at living at 2% of your potential. So,
and I know you're a big fan of events, like you just
huge.
said.
I mean, come on.
Our convention's coming up, and
when's your convention?
It's next in 2 weeks in September,
2 weeks.
And we still have people that are not coming.
Oh my gosh,
person.
it's nuts. Where is it?
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Salt Lake City. So the whole city's going to smell good.
Yeah, 100%.
I've been there when that convention is happening. Boy, the whole city smells good. It's like the wind blows, you smell. Oh, wow. It's this concoction totally. Of like 80 different, like the whole town's a diffuser. Anyway, so events change lives. You've heard about our events. We do an event called Go Pro. We do an event called Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing. Those events are a must. You need to attend. So that's the third thing. Events change lives. Number 1, I learned to never miss. But number 2, way more important, I learned to use events as a tool to help my team see a bigger picture. They became huge leverage points for me. Because the event did the selling and the promotion, I just needed to make sure that they showed up. Mm-hmm. So whether it's watching online or in person, don't miss. And make sure your team doesn't miss. Become a great promoter. The fourth thing The fourth thing. This is if you'd like to have a hack, like a shortcut, like a cheat code that could cause you to be 3 years smarter without being 3 years older in your doTERRA business, put a number 10 into the comments. If you'd like to be smarter without being older, once I learned this, everything changed in my business. I accelerated my life, my experiences, the things I was able to do. I heard from a gentleman, his name was Bill Bailey. He said, you measure a life by the number of experiences you have and the quality of those experiences, the intensity of those experiences, right? That's how you measure life. And based upon that, I've lived like 6 lifetimes because I've been able to condense what would take somebody 5 years. I can get that figured out in 5 weeks. And here's how. I surround myself with coaches and mentors that have already done what I want to do, and I have them teach me how to do it. So if they took 10 years of research and study, and they can teach me in 10 days, I can be 10 years smarter on that subject without being 10 years older. I have coaches for everything. You should too. If there's a weak spot in your business, find somebody who's great at that weak spot and get that weak spot strong. If you're strong in some areas and you can get stronger and somebody else is stronger, find a coach, find a mentor. Even if you've got to pay them a few dollars, doesn't matter. What's more valuable, time or money?
Time.
Right. I know you're never supposed to ask this question, but how old are you?
Well, how old do you think? I'm just kidding. 39.
39. All right. I'm 57. You know how much I would pay to be 39?
You said the number the other day.
Everything
for
I
something
have.
Else. Yeah.
$40 million? Yeah. I'd give you everything I've got. House, plane, cars, business, everything. I'd give all that to you to be 50. Time. We think we have all this time and it's just not valuable at all. Just do whatever you want with it. Time is the thing, man. So do everything you can to condense your learning into the shortest period of time you possibly can versus just cruising and losing a year and another year and another year and another year and another year. Time is the most valuable thing. So I'm going to share this at the end, but I also want to share it now. And then I know we got to move to the next session.
Sarah, if you want to come down, actually.
We have an event coming up at the end of this year. Okay, called GoPro. It's December 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and it's going to be virtual. We built a $20 million studio here in Las Vegas to be able to deliver an amazing, unbelievable experience. We got Tony Robbins. We have other big names being announced very soon. But if you want to master the game, close 2021 strong, and prepare yourself for an epic 2022, you can't miss this event. And I'm going to give you an offer that's so outrageous that hopefully you can't refuse it, because I'm going to help you do a couple things. One, this 3-day event is going to be the largest and most powerful event in network marketing history. We're going to have over 100,000 people from over 100 countries around the world attending this event to sharpen their skills, learn the best ideas, best strategies, best tactics, best secrets from people who are actually doing it. Okay, and you're going to be able to fill up your journal with notes. Number one, if you attend. And number two, you get your team to attend, and your team is going to explode into 2022. If you want your team to do more than just sell some product, but to actually go grow a business, make sure that they attend this event.
Can I say something about that?
Sure.
So we had our team participate in the 7-day recruiting challenge, which we're doing again, right?
Yes, in November.
In November. And that's a free event. I'm like, how in the world is he going to actually outdo this free event that happened in 7 days with GoPro, right? right? But of course it's Eric, so I didn't question him. We did the 7-day recruiting challenge, and then our team did GoPro. 2021, which for many people, even some of my closest friends who are leaders in the company, was a really rough year. And teams were falling apart, and there wasn't retention, and they weren't bringing on rock star leaders, which we're going to talk about today, how to do that. Our team grew significantly. In 2021, I became a founder in our company, which actually means that our team was growing. It's not something I can do on my own. We saw significant growth. And if you ask any of my leaders who actively participated in 7-day recruiting challenge and GoPro, they were like, game changer.
Yeah.
Because we learned the skills and heard from people. Sometimes it is really helpful to have a voice outside of the company. Our company is amazing. We have incredible leadership, such good training. But when they hear from people who are the top in this industry outside of the company, it's so inspiring, and they're learning different skills than they might learn within our walls.
So here's the deal. And normally, we got to do this now. Yeah. Normally, a ticket for this is $497. I'm going to do two things for you today. For this group and today only, we're going to let you get a ticket for $197 instead of $497. And I'm going to throw in a bonus that is so outrageous. So show them whatever the first
I
one
didn't
is.
even know it was going to be only $197.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I have put together a power training masterclass collection, which is $3,200 worth of my courses. Okay. If you bought them individually, $3,200. It will teach you all the fundamental skills, how to overcome objections, how to never run out of prospects, how to present, how to close, how to get people started. All of these things. 9 courses, 25 hours, downloads, PDFs, the works. If you want to learn the skills necessary to build a network marketing business, this power training masterclass system, $3,200, you've got to have it. And here's the cool thing. If you get a ticket today, I will give you all of those courses for free. Every single one.
Dang.
Okay.
Mic
So
drop.
all of them for free. You get the $197 ticket, and I will give you $3,200 worth of courses. 9 courses, the best stuff I've got. Today only, just because you're here, because you're plugged in, because you're watching this, because you're part of it. Today only, we're going to do that. Can you show them the screen of how to do it? You've all learned how to use the QR code from your restaurants. You can go to doTERRAGoPro.com or scan that. Grab your phone right now and just scan that code, and that'll take you there. You'll be able to get a ticket and the power training today for $197. Now, look, if you want to grow a business, this is the best way I know to be able to condense time. If you've made a decision, you want to learn the skills, the power training system is going to help you learn the skills, right? You want to grow your confidence. You want to learn, you want to accelerate that, prepare for the GoPro event in December. It's $197, right? And if you want to condense time, you're going to be coached by the best in the world. Yeah. What does it say? I can't read it.
Oh, 404 not found.
For what?
It says site not found.
On the scan?
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
working. If you try the QR code, scan the QR code, and try it again.
Yeah, a few of you are saying it is working.
All right. So just keep trying. Take a picture of this screen, whatever. Keep trying to be able to do that. And here's the other cool thing. We're going to take everybody who gets a ticket, and we're going to put them into a special Zoom room for the event just for your team.
And we actually have giveaways we're going to be doing during GoPro, during the live event that we'll talk more about leading up to this. But this is an incredible offer. And can I share what we're doing?
Yeah. Well, one other thing
wait.
I will say is you can get as many tickets as you want. And anybody, if you get 10 tickets, you'll have 10 of those GoPro training systems that people will be able to have with those.
Oh, so you can buy more than awesome for some of your leaders, business partners. And the group of leaders that are here with me today, some of my best friends and presidential diamonds in our company, we've decided that we want to also invest in you. And we want to coach you once a month through the end of the year. So if you purchase a GoPro ticket, you're going to also be able to jump on a Zoom with the 5-6 of us. I don't do math. And once a month, we're going to bring all of us as a group collaboratively together and coach you for an hour on Zoom. So you'll get, I think it's September, October, November, December, 4 coaching sessions with us.
Love that. So throw a number 1 into the comments if you're going to get a ticket today. At least one. Excited for you.
Those of you upstairs in the kitchen, let's see a 1.
My team is calling me crazy. My team is calling me nuts for giving away those the 9 courses and the whole power training system. But we want to invest in you, and it's going to be great. So I'm going to let you move on with the rest of your
Thank you. And we'll
thing.
see
And
Eric
I'll be
again.
back in a
He'll
bit.
Be back.
So, mwah.
Thank you. I mean, you guys, for those of you who've heard me share about Eric, and just even in the last 2 years, if you've been watching my team and watching me with my growth, I owe a lot of that to him. And what he said about up-leveling your growth and doing it in condensed time, it's because I've had the opportunity to tap into some of these resources with him. So we are going to actually change things up a little bit. And I'm going to challenge you with something before I pass the mic off to our next speaker, who is Sarah Jansen, one of my closest friends in the world, Presidential Diamond. But before I pass it over, I want to challenge you with something. So I mentioned that I was going to talk about your why and finding your why. And I think what's even more important is what Eric said, but also what Sarah's going to share about belief. But I'm going to give you an assignment to do today when this is all over. I want you to write down these questions. And when you write down these questions, I want you to reflect on them over the next couple days, maybe a week, to really remember, why are you doing this? Why are you saying yes? Like Eric said, are you saying yes? Are you all in? So here's the questions I want you to write down. What makes you glad, sad, or mad? That's one question. What makes you glad, sad, or mad? What puts a holy smile on your face? It's the second question. What puts a holy smile on your face? What makes you pound your fist out of righteous indignation? What makes you pound your fist out of righteous indignation? I think you're going to find that when you get to the bottom of that, your why is going to be on the other end, on the other side, the answers to those questions. But as Eric shared, before you even answer those, are you committed? Are you in? That's the first question to answer. And then write those down, just meditate on them, pray over them. I think you're going to find that your God-given purpose and calling is going to become really clear when you find the answers to those questions. All right, I'm going to bring up Sarah Jansen. Sarah and I have known each other I actually remember seeing her walk as presidential. I'm like, I kind of want to hang out with her, so I feel like I should do that. And we've gotten to spend a lot of time together. She's going to share with you about belief. So please welcome Sarah Jansen.
Hi, friends.
Hi. I know, right?
All right. Getting some notes up here. Here we go. All right, so my name is Sarah Jansen, and I live in the prairie lands of South Dakota with my 3 daughters and my amazing hubby, Matt, who's here right now. Hey, babe. So fun to travel to Vegas together. So we're in South Dakota. We have a whole bunch of animals. We have 40 chickens, and I know, just wait for it, 19 roosters right now. I know, it's horrible. We're working on that, but we just hatched a whole bunch of new ones. But now Matt's not the only guy on the farm, so that's good for him. We have been in doTERRA since 2014 and came in and started running. We hit doTERRA, or hit Diamond, in 6 months. We hit Blue in 11 months, and we hit Presidential in 18 months. And I am a lifer, you guys. I'm absolutely committed to this company. My entire heart is here. And I have done what Eric said. I have made that decision. I am definitely not on the fence. Absolutely love it. So happy. Hi, friends. So fun to see all these faces on the chat. All right. So when Season asked me to pick a title for this talk, I knew it had to be Don't Stop Believing. Don't stop believing, because we've had kind of an exhilarating year. Would you call it that? Exhilarating 18 months. And things have been kind of rough out there. We've had to turn this way, turn that way, had to do things differently than we've ever done them before. And I wanted to talk to you about what it means to keep believing. And isn't it funny how when all of us get together, we kind of start to address these same topics. And so Season and Eric, we're talking about some of the same things that I want to share with you today. I want to show you how to keep believing when things get rough out there. So don't stop believing. Are there any 80s babies on this broadcast upstairs in the room? It's one of my absolute favorite songs. I don't even think you have to be born in the 80s to know Don't Stop Believing. Yeah, you guys are all over it. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole when I started to research for this talk. I Googled Don't Stop Believing, Journey, and started watching all of these videos. You guys just have to do me a favor. You have to go on YouTube and watch the 1981 Escape Tour from Houston. It will inspire you to just live your life. Okay, there's my message. Go watch a Journey video. But these guys in the 80s, these are guys running around with electric guitars. They had the highest waisted jeans I have ever seen. I mean, it's quite trendy, but I loved it. I watched it like 4 times when I should have been writing my talk, but I was watching Journey videos. But there's a good message in here. There's a good message. And I started to do some research because I love the backstory of how things came about. And I found out that about this song, that the keyboardist was going through a rough time. And he had just been having a lot of money problems. He was out of money, but in this rock and roll band, his dog was super, super sick, and he just didn't know what to do. He didn't think he was going to keep going with Journey. And so he called his dad, and he said, and I quote, "Dad, should I just give up on this thing and come home?" And his dad said, no, do not come home. Stick to your guns. Don't stop believing. And he said, okay. And he wrote it in his little journal where he wrote his song ideas. And then, of course, eventually he got to writing a song and it became the big hit that it is today. But he almost quit right before that amazing hit. He almost quit. He almost went home and did who knows what. Wasn't going to be with Journey anymore. His dad, a wise man, right? His dad understood the possibilities of what they were creating. He said, stay. He said, stay, even though it felt hard. And I think a lot of us have felt that. Even though, of course, I'm never leaving doTERRA, I'm a lifer, of course, you have those emotions come up like, like the wind's gotten knocked out of you a little bit. And when you truly understand what is possible with doTERRA, you're never going to walk away. And so, like Eric was saying, if you have that tendency to quit, if you have a tendency to think, this might not be worth it, you have not made the decision. You have not. You're still sitting on the fence. If you're on that fence and you can still swing it one way or the other, you haven't made a decision. You got to be off that fence and running through the pasture with doTERRA. So I want you to take a minute. I want you to think about the moment that you knew that you were in it and that you were going to go all the way with doTERRA. I know you have that moment. You have that moment. If you haven't decided yet, maybe this is your moment right now. But I want those of you who have made a decision, what was it for you? My first event in the chat. I would guess that a lot of people have an event as that big aha moment. I want you to write it down. I want you to write where, when, and I want you to write how it felt. How did it feel in your body to make that decision and to write that feeling down? Because what's the next line in the song? Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling, right? So we're going to hold on to that feeling and get back to it. You guys, it's not always about the feelings. Of course not. It's about the skill sets. It's about all of those things. But going back to that feeling that you first had, it's kind of like going back to your honeymoon, going back to that first amazing week of college. And going back to that feeling is going to help you carry on. Now, for me, it was several different events. Haley Hobson was a neighbor of mine in Boulder, and I Googled doTERRA, Colorado. And Haley's name came up, and I contacted her, and she said, yeah, absolutely. Come on down, come on to this class. And oh, by the way, we're having a retreat in, I think it was like a few weeks from then, and she invited me to come. And I remember sitting in the front row, right, with my notebook, so excited. Well, Wes was laying out the comp plan, showing all of the different ranks, and I just felt this like building excitement in me. Like, I can do this. I am totally doing this thing. And we went diamond shortly after that event. It was in that moment. I can remember it very, very clearly. And then going to presidential, I remember standing in a room at my in-laws' house reading Kyle and Kirsten Kirschbaum. There's a tongue twister for you. I remember reading their presidential cover story in the Leadership magazine. And again, that familiar feeling, that rush of, oh my gosh, we can do that. I can be a presidential. They just laid it all out, all of the difficulty, but all of the joy. And I just knew in that moment I could do it. And then event after event after event solidified it for me. And so many years we attended the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing. I love that event. So many pivotal moments for me listening to those powerful women up there sharing their hearts. But I'm a huge fan of events. And like we were saying, promote, get out there and get your teams, because that is where those big decisions happen. So we had all this glory and all of this amazing, and my belief was so high. And then, dun, 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 leaders started to drop like flies. They started to lose that belief that they had. And actually, out of the 6 that qualify us for presidential, 5 of them decided to fly away like a bird. And one leader walked away because she had a coach who did not think that network marketing was legit and was coaching her in the opposite direction. Another leader walked away because her belief in herself was not high enough to carry her. She had not made that decision, that it was like no deal. Like, we have to, this is our plan A, no matter what. And another one, same story, and another and another. And they were all plagued by belief issues. And they really were, if I'm honest, they were holding on to my belief. And, they were bringing like a wet match to light the fire. But I was right there next to them with my blowtorch. I'm like, I see your wet match, but let me blow it up with my blowtorch. It's going to be fine. It's all going to be fine. We're going to have this huge bonfire and it's going to be fine. We're going to throw the wood on. And they were holding on to that. But the minute that, things I started to maybe not pour in as much, then they start to drift away. And so I've been there, friends. Like, we were kind of joking about, hey, have you ever had a leader quit? Of course. This is just the nature of network marketing. And when you have a bunch that kind of lose their mind all at once, that kind of throws you down for a minute. And I'm not going to lie to you and say it's been all roses where I've just been like rainbows and unicorns running around like, yay, everything's perfect. But I never lost that belief. I never thought, I I just am going to quit because all these people they left me. And so if you have had leaders quit, first of all, I just want to give you a big hug and say, it's going to be okay. It really is. You know how to build. You know how to build a team. You're going to learn more about that today. You absolutely can build again. Just like Eric was saying, just like Susan was saying, it's all up here. It does feel like a rejection though. It feels like a rejection of you. It feels like they're rejecting everything you poured into them, everything that you believed for them. And really, they aren't rejecting you. They reject the belief. They rejected your belief in them. They rejected the possibility. And so pull that off of you. Like pull that off of you. If that is weighing heavy on your shoulders right now, you got to let that go before you can open those arms up and gather your little baby chicks, new baby chicks, right? It's all about chickens for me. You want to bring them into your little coop and start having another party again. And if you right now in this moment, if you happen to be teeter-tottering on that edge of belief, I want you to change your mind. Change your mind. Yesterday, we were on a leadership call and had a good friend say, I was struggling in my business, but you know what I did? She didn't give us a list of all these skill sets and things. She said, I changed my mind. I changed my mind that this is still the best opportunity in the world. And now she's attracting like all these leaders, crazy amounts of leaders, and her team is following her excitement and her belief, and she's raising up all of these new people. So I want you to decide right now to get into action. Because like we said, the skill set, it's the thing. It's the thing. I don't know one person who has reached a leadership rank in doTERRA who just had belief. They also did all the things. I can point to all the people that I know, like, oh, you are always doing all the things. You're doing the things. Because we cannot just sit there. You have to get into action, because action is going to create the belief. A lot of times people think it's the other way around. I'm going to just soak myself in belief in podcast and online event and gurus and teachers, and I'm going to soak it all in and just wait for my business to explode. And instead, you need to pour the action in. And I'm talking networking, getting out there, meeting people, and doing the things in your business that are income producing. That is then what's going to create more belief in your heart, because people are going to take you seriously. This is now your thing. You are bringing communities together. You are serving people. You're helping people with their health needs. So get into action. It is not the other way. Your action will create belief. And then once you add those two together, action plus belief equals success. And I just want to also challenge you, if you think that you're in action right now, because you might be saying, but I am, Sarah. I'm in action and nothing is happening. My good friend Molly jumped on our team call the other day, and she just blew everyone's minds with this question. So get out your notebooks and write this down. I want you to write, how many hours could you be working your doTERRA business right now? Keyword being could. How many hours? Now get serious. I want you to take away your Facebook scrolling, take away your Instagram scrolling, take away all the nonsense that is distracting you from rising up and being what you know you can be. Write that down. Put it in the chat if you're brave. Put it in the chat. What could you be working with your doTERRA business if you're serious? And then I want you to take a deep breath and write down the number of hours you are working. That's the question, right? And then if you write down that number, I love the honesty in the chat, right? 2, if you say 5, it's usually more like 2. It's usually something lower than what we're really being honest with ourselves, because you're using that not necessarily for things that are driving your business forward, right? That are creating massive action in your business. And so if there is a major discrepancy between that first number and that second number, There's your answer. That was like a mind blow for me because I can get really distracted with a lot of different things, a lot of things that I need to do for my team or do this or that, but it wasn't driving the business forward. And so I'm not going to go too much deeper into that, but I want you to just get serious. Talk with your team, talk with your upline about, wow, I really do want to pour more time and effort into my business, because just think, if you guys could even add 5 more hours, it's only an hour a day. Check your phone screen time and find out how many hours you're spending on Facebook. Then you'll know how much you have to add to your business. Okay. I wanted to just jump back and just say, when I was telling you about my aha moments, just do you see how many peers are all around me holding up my belief during this journey? And I look at the people that are here and I need these people. Like, I need to be around people that lift me, that drive me forward. So if you don't have that in your life, that is very, very important. Get yourself around the successful people and don't hide. Don't hide. Get yourself out there. I want you guys to hold out the belief that you have to your team. Take your excitement and your energy from this event, hold it out to them so that they can see it as well. You guys, I cannot express enough how much they are following you and everything that you're doing. They're watching every single moment. They have to see you charging forward with unwavering confidence in what this company has to offer, what network marketing has to offer. Otherwise, they just kind of fly away. They drift away. And you are leading them to their goals or away from their goals every single day with your actions. No pressure. But they're watching, and you're directing them either closer or farther away. So help them change their mind. Help them see what is possible. Dig deep down into those legs who have lost leaders and throw off that unbelief that they've buried themselves in, and just pour on that love and that guidance and that support. I want you to show your teams how it's done. Don't stop believing, my friends. Thank you.
So amazing. Thank you, Sarah. And I love that you got to hear her sing. It's a talent that maybe you didn't know she had. I should have made her dance as well, but thank you for that. So our next speaker is another really great friend of mine and Presidential Diamond. Her name is Dana Moore. And let me just say something about this topic. Because these women, I just have the privilege to do life with and business with. I was able to put out to them and say, hey, what is a topic that you love to teach on because you do it well? And that's why you heard from Sarah, don't stop believing. And with Dana, when she told me this topic, I'm like, yes, 100%. So Dana and I have actually all these girls, we've been able to travel the world together, thanks to doTERRA. And recently, her family and my family spent about 5 weeks in Mexico together. And it was awesome. And she was a really good influence on me because she wanted to still do business the whole time. And I was like, really? I mean, we're in Mexico for 5 weeks. I feel like we should just lay on the beach and drink margaritas. But one of the things she was so intentional about was going out and finding people who wanted to partner with her and do the business, and going to yoga studios, going to spas. And so this topic for Dana, talking about how to work with new leaders, yes, I think you had a prettier title, is spot on. She's a genius, and I'm excited for you to hear from her. Come on, Dana Moore.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I have goosebumps like crazy, and I don't know if I'm just so excited that we're in Eric's home, or I'm freezing cold, or it's all the deep blue I put on my neck. Like, I'm not sure, but either way, I'm so pumped to be here. So I'm just curious how many of you have really struggled to network, especially, let's just call it like in the pandemic time, during this time where we have been potentially locked down or quarantined, depending on where you're at, and you feel like your leads list has completely dried up. And I can see you in the chat saying like, me. I'm like, well, me too. Like, we're not necessarily immune to this just because we're higher ranks. We've all felt this. And I want to talk to you about how to partner up with new leads, especially in the social media world, where a lot of people are showing up and you can connect no matter what's kind of going on in the world. That's still like a sure thing and a sure way to connect and show up with people. But there's kind of a right way to do it. And there's also a very wrong way to do it. And a lot of times we do it wrong because we don't have like the skills to do it correctly. And we like shoot off a random message or find somebody that we think we could partner up with, and we throw it out there and we don't do it right and we get rejected, which is one of the biggest fears in building any new relationship, is actually being rejected. So I want you to think back, if you are married or with a partner, and you feel like you found your person in life, I want you to think back to maybe before that. And I'm curious if you had a list of where you, kind of like wrote down your wants. Like, I'm looking for someone who is potentially like tall, dark, kind, a good cook, a farmer. I don't know what you're looking for, but think back to a time where you kind of had your eye on the prize. Okay. So then, I know there's some guys here, but I'm just going to speak to the women because I'm a woman. But you find McDreamy. Okay. So McDreamy comes around, and the last thing that you should do is pitch yourself and your future dreams with McDreamy to him immediately. Like, you're not like, hey, you look like what I'm looking for. Like, check, like holistic and successful and kind and has a great presence. Like, do you want to have my babies? Like, that's insane. It's totally insane. However, this happens in social media all the time. And I'm sure that you guys have been pitched this way in your DMs. In fact, you know what I'm about to say next, but it starts off with this. Hey girl, I really like your vibe and you have great energy. And I've been looking at your feed for all of like 4 seconds and I have a great opportunity for you. And like, for me, if somebody walked up to me and was like, hey girl, I really like your vibe and I think we could be future life partners, I would be like, me? Like, oh my gosh, like what hole can I crawl into to get out of this obnoxious relationship, this weird pitch? Like, there's nothing about that makes you want to like go in for it, right? So you want to slip out the back door and you don't want anything to do with it. And I've been pitched that way so many times. I'm seriously like, who is training people to do this? Like, why is this being taught? And this cannot work. And in the industry, we actually call this spray and pray. So it's like you just like put out tons of messages and you're like, I need a husband and I'm just going to put myself out there to the world, and whoever like grabs first will get to be, my life partner. And obviously, there's not like a legally binding contract when we're talking about our business partners. But we should still kind of like go into it with the same type of like, we know what we're looking for, but we want to play it cool. And a lot of times what happens is no one has any chill. They have no chill. And then they come in way too hard, and then they get rejected. And then you don't want to put yourself out there anymore. Like, why would you? Because you're getting rejected all the time. Unlike marriage, though, where you can only have one legal life partner, you can have multiple business partners. So, that's a bonus. All right. So let's just talk about what does it take for like a stranger to become a friend? What does that look like? Because I promise you that probably 99.9% of the time, the hey girl messages aren't working. But people are partnering in social media. People are finding amazing leads. People are collaborating. People are growing. People, like this is happening. So what are they doing that you're not doing potentially? Or how are they building this relationship? The answer is always going to be time. So what happens is, and the biggest mistake is, you go in too hard, too fast for the end goal. And we need to like work ourselves backwards and think, what would we do if we saw McDreamy? Like, what would you do? Okay. So let's just go like hypothetically, you see what you're looking for in a spouse, marriage wise, and maybe he works at the bowling alley. I don't know why that came to my head, but let's just pretend. Okay, so guess who starts to go bowling, right? You do. You kind of show up there, and maybe you don't even get your shoes from him at the rental counter, but you see him and you kind of check out, and it's like, oh, he works every Thursday, right? So you bowl every Thursday, and maybe you join the league, and maybe, like you're serious about this relationship. Maybe you get brave enough to say hey or walk past him, right? And that might seem like you're probably thinking like that's kind of ridiculous, but that is the way that we have to play the game in social media too. And so what does that look like? That looks like the first thing you want to do is figure out what you're looking for, kind of make that list, and then follow those people. Okay, so that would be like, hey, I'm interested in that. That catches my eye. I'm looking forward to seeing and exploring more of that. No one's having conversations about marriage yet. No one's pitching the business. No one's even sampling essential oils necessarily. But what you're doing is trying to figure out, is there a future partnership like potential there? Do I think that what I think I see is really there? I don't know. I'm going to test the waters. So what you're doing is you're going based on your list. You're like, this is a good situation. And then I'm going to show up where they are. So you start to follow them. Now, do not slip into their DMs, okay? Do not do anything like that yet. That is not the time for it. You're skipping very crucial steps. And what happens is if you get rejected or if you're rejecting other people, the whole problem is everyone skips all the steps in between. When you skip all the steps in between, like the ask that you go for is just too big. It's marriage, right? Whereas it could be like, hey, there's a bonfire Friday night. Like, tons of us are going. You want to hang out? Like, it could be something much less pressury, much more normal, something that isn't going to scare somebody away. That's what you have to do within social media. So a lot of times you're just like going way too big, way too fast, way too hard, and you're getting rejected. I reject people all the time. I'm really good at responding. A lot of times I'll just delete them and ignore them, but I am really good at responding because I want to learn from their mistakes. And I also actually care enough about this industry and love this industry enough to hopefully add a little bit of guidance or correction without, it's not that I have an ego or think that I'm better. It's just that I don't think they were taught well. And so I'll say, thanks for thinking of me. That's really kind. I'm glad you're attracted to my energy. I'm extremely in love with my company and what I do. And I don't have time for anything else, but have a great day. Something very kind. But I've gotten pushback. You're like, well, I'm busy too. And the best thing about my job or my industry is I can do it with all my kids running around. Well, at that point, like they're not listening to me. They're not listening to what I'm saying at all. Like the reason I am successful in my business is because I put a ton of time and energy and effort into it. I don't have extra hours laying around thinking like, ooh, if I could just be pitched an opportunity, like that's what I would take. And they're not thinking that about you either. That's the thing, is like we do have a good thing going. We are like, like a tall drink of water, we are a good company. We do have something great to pitch, but it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's just like sitting around being like, if I could just get a DM that says, hey girl, hey, then I would be happy or I would be successful. So think that through. The other thing about when you're like prospecting, you might be thinking like, who do you find? Think about what you love. Like if you are a chicken farmer, start following them. If you are a yogi, like follow accounts that love yoga, search words like holistic. If you're into energy work, follow those types of accounts. You want to find the people that are like-minded. The other thing about just following them, once you find them, is I want you to actually not only follow them, but then I want you to start to engage, start to like them, start to build them up, start to like comment on what they're doing. So it's like, instead of like, I followed you, I've shown up at the bowling alley and now I'm asking like, hey, do you want to go on a date? Like I think we could be life partners. You don't do that, but you start to engage, you start to invite them to things. In the social media world, what that would look like is commenting, like, oh my gosh, you took the words right out of my mouth, like, or I couldn't agree more, or like, yes, well said, like things that reinforce their message. Now, just a really quick thing on that note, like when you're looking for a future partner, and I'm going to stick with this marriage theme because I just think it helps you like to think about like playing it cool, keeping your chill. You want to stay in your lane or in your league. Okay. And that's not insulting. But if you have like 329 followers on Instagram and you want to go after accounts that have like 300,000 followers on Instagram, like you're not playing the game right. You're not playing within your league, you know? And so that doesn't mean that those accounts are completely out of touch. It doesn't mean that at all, but it does kind of either one, show you like skill up, keep growing, like be the person, be the partner that you would want to have, right? We talk about all the time. But also like find the accounts like holistic. We talked about, you know, things like that, the words you're looking for, yogi, stuff like that, that are within your like same level, you know? And so I like, for example, I'm close to 10,000 followers. I'm super excited about that. I'm not a super huge Instagrammer. I have played this game extremely organically. I have made mistakes. I'm learning as I go, and I have a ton of fun doing it. But when I find accounts that I really want to engage in, I'm usually looking for people around the same type or amount of followers, because I think if I, or even like a little bit less than me, Mary down, just kidding. A little bit less than me, because then I think they're gonna be like, oh, she's paying attention to me and she's like close to 10,000, right? And I don't know that there's like a specific rule of the game that says like, this is how you have to do it. But for me, I find myself feeling like a lot more confident that I'm like on the same level as somebody, at least in Instagram, at least for the first impression, at least for the back and forth. And then I follow them, just like I told you. And then I slip into their comments, just like I told you. So here's where it gets like, becomes a lot like a relationship. Once you do that back and forth, and once you validate them, the next step would be to actually share something they post like in your stories or in your feed. Like you're introducing them to your friends, you know, you're like, follow this account. Her advice is spot on, you know, or like, I love everything that they post, or like this quote got me good today, you know, something like that. So you're like showing them off. And if you've ever been reposted, you know, that feels really good and you pay attention to it. And a lot of times when you get reposted, you'll check like who reposted me. Oh, they have a lot of followers. Like that's a good audience, you know, and you're kind of paying attention there. So pay attention to that and do that. And don't necessarily though, then slip into their DMs. This is like, you can't like introduce them to your friend group and be like, now that you met my friends, you want to get married? Like it still doesn't work like this. You are still not giving it enough time. And you might be thinking, Dana, this is exhausting. It takes so much time. It does take time. It does take time. But say you are courting 20 new potential partnerships, 20 new relationships, and you were doing this for weeks, like you have no idea when that fruit is going to come in. You have no idea what that's going to look like, right? You keep showing up and you keep showing up and you keep showing up. And even if things break up or there seems to be some ghosting, keep showing up. I'm going to tell you this story in college because I stalked my now husband. He was my potential husband then. I stalked him so well. So we dated for a full year in college, and then we broke up. And he was a collegiate athlete, and he would be mortified if I told you all that he was a cheerleader in college, but we like to call it a collegiate athlete at home. And he was a collegiate athlete, and they got up at 6 a.m. and they would do their workouts and all this stuff and, you know, train. And there was a girl on my wing. I was an RA in college, and there was a girl on my wing who was also a cheerleader, and she would have to get up, and she missed out on so much, and she went to bed so early because she had to train so early in the morning. And I came up with this great idea to support her. Of course, what I was really going for was, how do I stalk Nate? Like, how do I show Nate that I'm athletic? How do I show Nate that I am an early bird and I'm willing to hustle in the morning and I'm willing to support this girl? And like, how do I show him these things? Like, how do I get back in front of him without being like, why won't you talk to me? Do you miss me? I miss you. Oh, are you ghosting me? Like, that's how I felt when we broke up. But I was like, I know we're going to get married. Like, I just knew it. I knew there was something there that I couldn't let go of. And I was right. And so we showed up, and I would run and I would work out and do all the things that I would do with this girl. And he would see, what are you guys doing here? Oh, we're here to support her, you know. pure hearts, obviously. So we're like supporting her, but we're showing up. So my point is stalk the people, like truly like stalk the people that you want to get to know on social media and continue to do the things that you need to do until they notice you. Now, if you're not producing or providing any kind of value, it's going to be hard for them to reciprocate. Just like if you want to go after someone and you're like, I would really like to marry them and let them have their babies. Like if you're not like a marriage material, they're not going to reciprocate that kind. So you have to show your personality. You have to post. You have to engage. You have to add value. You have to show that there's a win-win for both of you. And then if you can create that, you can create like a win-win back and forth, then guess what they're going to do? They're going to repost your stuff. They're going to share you with their friends. And this is where now you're kind of in the sweet spot where they're like, hey, do you want to come to the movies with me and my friends? And you're like, okay, we're in like the same realm here. Like we're reciprocating back and forth. And now you have an opportunity to talk about what you want to talk about. And at this point, what I do and what I would encourage you to do is figure out a way to promote them. Like maybe you feature a podcast a week and you're like, I love your podcast. I'm going to feature a podcast a week for my audience. And I'd love to start off with you. You know, can I feature you? Like that is such a honor. Like nobody's going to be like, no, you can't feature me, because the whole point of like Instagram and social media is growth, right? So they're going to be happy that you are willing to help them to grow. Another thing you could do is ask then, not before all this, but then at this point, could we collaborate? Is there like, let's put our heads together. Could we get on the phone together and talk about a collaboration? Like I was dreaming up a giveaway, and I was thinking your products would fit in with my theme, and like, what could we do? And you create partnership, because the thing is, you're not always looking for your fifth leg or your sixth leg. That's actually not always what you want. And I think you need to change the way that you think. You're not always looking for your husband. Let's just put it that way. But what you're looking for is maybe to get in front of their audience and to be able to pitch to their people, right? Who are their audience? They're like natural, holistic, healthy people that probably need essential oils. You know, they need an oil girl. Like, so there could be a lot of reasons that you want to partner up with people, and it's not just my next big leader. It's not like that. And so you have to get clear on like what you're looking for. And once you know that, approach them. But the truth is, I'm often in my head thinking like, if they built doTERRA, they would be so good. You know, like if we got married, we would be magical together. Like that is truly what I'm thinking. But it's like planting a bunch of seeds, and I don't know the fruit that's going to be produced. But if I go about it in the right way, like I go about it with like this step by step by step, touch point, touch point, touch point, touch point, I continue to play the game. I continue to show invested interest and to add value and to connect with them and to promote them. And then when I have something to ask, because I've already like given, then it's very easy to ask for the ask. And it could be, hey, do you mind sharing this on your page? Or I have this cool class coming up and I was thinking it would apply to your audience. Or do you want to go live together and do like interview style about this specific topic, hormones or something? You hear what I'm saying? So it's a long game. And the problem is not that you don't know how to play this game. It's just that you had chill probably when you were trying to get married, but no one's really taught you how to have chill in the network marketing game. And so you're going from 0 to 60 and you're getting rejected and things are falling apart, and it doesn't have to look that way. So some of you, I'm just going to close with talking about like, what about if you're not in social media? Like, what if you're like, oh my gosh, now I have to like create Instagram and she's stressing me out. The thing about this is actually works better in person. And I do build a lot on social media right now, but I built a ton in person. The bulk of our success and the vast 99% of my team came from person to person building. And the reason that works so well is because if you can, again, connect with someone and get together for an hours worth of coffee date or dinner or a walk or something like that, you're speeding up the process of all this back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on social media. And so this doesn't not apply to you. But again, like, don't meet a brand new mom at the park or, you know, a friend somewhere at, like, you know, a holistic health fair. And you're like, you know, I have an amazing opportunity for you. And I really like your vibe. And like, you should come over and hear about the opportunity. Like, you are literally going to sabotage everything that you're doing if you go like that. But if you can be like, oh my gosh, I feel like a real connection with you. Can we go out for coffee? Or you go back and you just find each other on Facebook or find each other on social media and you start to build a relationship. And then you can, like, I'm having an event at my house. Do you want to come over? You can really actually speed up the process in person. So in person isn't archaic. In person isn't something that we just throw out and we say, we're all building on social media right now. You don't have to do one or the other. You can absolutely do both. You absolutely should do both. You absolutely need to do both. They're both crucial for your business. But no matter what, take your time, build a relationship, have a ton of touch points. And then once you've established really strong rapport that you feel good about and you feel safe about, go for a small ask. Because you know what? If you go for a small ask, something simple, you're going to get a win, and that's going to build your confidence. And then you go for the next thing, or you return the favor and you go back and forth. And every time you have a win, you have more confidence. And the more confidence you have, the more you skill up. The more you skill up, the better that you recruit. All right, you guys, have chill.
Amazing. As always. Thank you, Dana Moore. So we are actually going to have you guys take a quick break. I want you to go do two things. To just get your energy up, your vibrations up. I would say motivate, maybe rose, if you have rose, whatever your favorite oil. Put in the oil in the chat that you're going to use. We're going to take a 5-minute break. The next thing I need you to do is hydrate. Get some water, drink some water, and maybe even just move your body a little bit to get your blood flow. We're going to be back in 5 minutes with a panel of Presidential Diamonds telling you some of their top skill sets and just answering some really raw questions. So we'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Hello, hello. Welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed your little stretch break, your hydration. I see all of the different oils you were using. Somebody did pull out the rose. That's good. Pulling out the big guns. I'm all for it. You must have probably brought somebody back from the dead. Congratulations. So we are excited to have this panel of amazing Presidential Diamond leaders who all happen to be my friends. And I wanted to just get really raw with them and ask them some questions that I know a lot of us in the field are always experiencing, or people are asking us. Maybe if you're a leader, you have people asking you these questions, right? And so these questions will hopefully help you not only feel and be reminded that you're not alone, that we're all dealing with very similar situations, but we'll also provide you some guidance on how to navigate through some of the same challenges. So the first question I'm going to ask is, this one is, I think we could all actually spend probably an hour on this particular question, but I'm just going to start with Eric. If he wouldn't mind sharing and putting you on the spot. This is Eric Larson, by the way. He's our master distributor in doTERRA. If you have not met Eric, can you please find him at convention? Go up and introduce yourself. He will make you immediately feel like you're his best friend. When I need a little confidence boost, I call Eric. But Eric, I wanted to know, what is the hardest thing that you have had to navigate in your business recently?
Yeah, thanks, Susan. And by the way, I was in town for another event, and we chatted yesterday about coming and doing this. So I am definitely an add one to this. So thank you for inviting me to come and do this. And I hope I can add some value along the way. But the hardest thing that I've done recently is I'm about a week out from just doing it. June 1st, I was dealing with some personal issues in my family. My parents live close to us, and all of a sudden, at one point, I had complete chaos with them. Their life was falling apart, end-of-life type of stuff, and it was hard to juggle my business, my personal life, and things that were going on with my parents. And I was struggling. I have struggled with this. This has been something that's been really difficult for me, being able to find that balance along the way. My wife was great in being able to help me get through this, but I am about a week out from it. And my emotions are a little bit raw, as you can tell. But at the end of the day, the thing that I did to be able to get through this was that I decided I needed to go out and serve somebody. I stopped feeling sorry for myself. I had my wife yell and scream at me like a coach. She got after me. You can do this, Eric. Let's go. Don't stop believing. Let's go. and the funny thing is it worked. I haven't changed. The circumstances in my life have not changed. They are still as messy and as sloppy and as goofy as they've ever been. But at least my ability and my shoulders are stronger to be able to carry the load. And going out and serving my team and my organization, finding people to help, has been the key for me. Once I stopped thinking about myself, once I stopped feeling sorry for myself or for my parents or what's going on in their life, it made all the difference in the world to be able to go out, serve, help, bless, and do what I could to answer somebody else's prayers and be the answer somebody else was looking for.
Oh, I love that. It's that saying, we've all heard it a million times, but turn your pain into purpose. And I always think about fires. And right now that's a really sensitive topic because there's a lot of wildfires on the West Coast, I know for sure, probably other parts of the world. And one of the most beautiful things about a fire is it is the most devastating possible loss of everything, right? But after, if you've ever driven by an area or been in an area where there's been a fire, you see after even sometimes months, but even a couple years, this beautiful, bright green new growth. And so I love that you're just able to.
You know, the funny thing, Susan, is you mentioned fire, but fire for me has been a refining aspect. It's made me better, I think. I've struggled for the last couple of months. It's really been hard for me, but I can't see anybody in pain and not want to do something about it.
And that's why we're in this business, right? Bailey, would you mind answering that same question? What has been hard for you to navigate most recently in your business? This is Bailey King, by the way.
Hey,
She's
guys.
Amazing.
Something that's really been a challenge for me the last several months is getting back to in-person classes. That is my bread and butter. It's what I'm going to talk about later this afternoon. And I have never been one to hear no when I ask people, like, can I come teach a class for you? Like, it's super fun for me. So people are always like, yes. And when I heard no for like 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks consistently, I was like, okay, is it what I'm supposed to do? I'll just go to online. And my husband's like, no, it's actually not what this means. It means you figure out a different way because this is what you're good at. So like, why would we move away from it? And so it just took a lot of just grit and kind of that, like, I'm going to get out of the woe is me. I'm going to try a different type of approach for people. I need to make it more fun, or I need to offer it as an outdoor experience instead of in a home. Like, what are the people's reasons they're saying no? And then dive in and explore. It can't just be more. For like those 6 weeks, it was more of the same. Like, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl. Like, okay. Like, they don't want to be your friend. Next approach, you know? But it was really hard because I hadn't experienced that, but it was so good for me because what do you think my team is experiencing? The same thing. And so that's something I've worked so hard on, is that vulnerability piece to my team, to be authentic and say, okay, I have a goal of 40 enrollments by November 1st, and I'm a month in and I'm not getting anybody to host. So here's actually what I'm doing. So it was a very great opportunity for growth, but it was really hard because that's the only way I know to enroll. And so if it's not working, I've got to figure it out.
And I was actually just going to ask you a question, but you're going to hear from Bailey later on about how to teach classes like a boss. And she's amazing at that, at in-person classes. And so I'm going to hold my question because you're going to address it later. But I think you're right. When we also remembering that when we're going through these challenges, that our team is as well. And so showing up, and that's one of the things, it's being in action. I feel like when you're a disconnected leader, whether you're just starting and you've brought on your first business partner, or you're top of the company and you have a giant team, when you're not connected and you're not in the field, you can't lead your team because you don't know what they're experiencing. You don't understand what they're going through. I always liken it to law enforcement. My husband was a California Highway Patrol officer, and they were always so frustrated by the higher ups because they hadn't been on the road in years. So they didn't understand what it was like out there. But yet they're barking commands and making these assignments, and they're like, this isn't what we're dealing with. So it's super important to be in the field and doing the work on a regular basis as for our team.
Yeah, I just don't think it feels good to anybody when you're asking them to do what you're not willing to do right now, And I think we forget that real quick when we get higher up and have a million other things on our plate. And so, you know, it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, you know, it's back to this entire event. Recruiting. How do you recruit? Well, you enroll. How do you enroll? Well, you do presentations. Okay, so look, step one is classes or one-on-ones or whatever your form is of presentations. You're going to have to go there because going straight to recruiting is not as easy, right? Getting them in the door is an easier route.
So true. And actually, that brings us to the next question. Dana, I'm going to ask you, when was the last time you brought on a CC and how did you bring them on? Oh, yep. Hold on. Let's back up. Now I'm like starting to do that annoying thing when people speak in different like code. So a CC, for example, is a committed and capable business partner. And so really quickly, what committed means is somebody that does what they say they're going to do, and they're doing it now. Capable is somebody that knows how to enroll people, and it's actually what they're doing, not what they have the potential to do. It's what they're doing. Okay, so my question again is, when was the last time you found a committed and capable business partner, and how did you find them?
I feel like you asked me that to embarrass me.
No, because you're so good at it.
No, the last time. Well, like when you're looking at a CC, like they are a CC if they actually prove that they're a CC, right? So the last time I brought one on was when I recruited my 6th leg, and that was when I was a diamond. So I don't know, 2014 maybe. Somebody who really like continued to grow, is still growing and things like that. But how I found them was I went to a retreat. It was called Captivating. It was just like a retreat for focus and silence and prayer and connection. And I was like, I need a break. Like I need 3 days to like recoup, because I have been 150% doTERRA since I can't even remember now, because everything was a blur and my whole world became doTERRA in a really great way, but I still needed to breathe. And so I went to this retreat and I took a whole case of oil, because we're going up in the mountains in Colorado, and I was like, I just don't know what we're going to run into up here. Like bears, yeah.
Mountain lions,
obviously
mosquitoes.
Deep Blue can help with that. So I was, allergies, of colds, I don't know. So I took my stuff and we're in a cabin, and I was like, obviously there's times where you're like, there's no cell phones, you're really quiet. If you guys need anything, like feel free just to take anything out of this. Like gave him a little, like, this is what it all does. Have a good time. Didn't say anything else. And I really intended to go there and not even talk about doTERRA. I was like, I just need to not talk about doTERRA, And so we're driving back to the airport, and they start asking me, how much money do you make? Like this is your full-time thing. How much money do you make? And I started to share. And at that time it was like $14,000 a month or $16,000 a month. And like every single woman in the cabin enrolled. 2 started to build. 1 stayed the CC. The silver is not really, like the silver leader under her that enrolled as well is not really doing anything, but the customers are also customers. And yeah, so I found her when I wasn't looking for her. But I was just being me and doing what I needed to do to refuel. And I think sometimes we can think we have to strive to find the thing. But like, honestly, like I walked past Nate and was like, I'm going to marry that guy. Like I didn't think if I walk up this sidewalk and really just set off these, like, I need a husband vibe, it'll come to me, right? Like that's not how it actually works. And so I'm going to have to get off this marriage analogy real quick.
I think she misses her husband.
2 days, Nate. Get ready.
Tomorrow morning. He's probably like, stop talking about me. But you know what I'm saying? So, and I have brought on builders since. Will they be a CC? Sometimes that takes time to know. And I don't know yet. I'm impressed with a new builder from England right now, but we'll see. So.
I think that's so important that you guys also heard her say, like, yeah, it's been a while since I brought on a CC that is still a CC doing the things. And Eric shared earlier, we're in the business of building and rebuilding. And not everybody is going to do this forever, right? There's some of us who decided to say yes in the beginning, and that yes is so solid. Marina is going to talk later today about confidence, which I think is going to be really good, because you've heard a lot of us up here. Obviously, we have confidence, right? It wavers, don't get us wrong, but we have confidence, and it's a hard skill to teach, but it's like what Eric talks about. It's doing the things regularly and repeatedly. One thing you said, Dana, and this is something that I was in Utah last week with Dave Sterling, Emily Wright, Elise Chedevy, and we had some leaders there. We were doing a training. And one of the quotes that was said that was my takeaway was, you can't just teach a man to build a boat. You have to teach the man to fall in love with the sea. And I think that's really important too, right? We're talking about bringing on committed and capable business partners, and we're so quick to jump into training and showing them what to do. But I think sometimes we also need to step back and teach them how to fall in love with what we do. And so what Dana said is, yes, she was being herself, but she brought product, because that's what made us fall in love with this company, is the product. And so she brought the product and had it there naturally for everybody else to fall in love with. So it's not this, there's not a magic formula that we put out on the internet and then we get committed and capable people, right? Miley, can I ask you, when you find a committed and capable business partner, what are some of the first few tasks or assignments that you would give them to, like Dana was saying, to kind of know, is this somebody that's wanting to do this?
Yeah. So I think first of all, even it kind of touches back to your last question too, in this CC thing. And I think that's a really interesting conversation to have. I am super, super conservative when it comes to who's a CC. Like, I learned from many, many years of looking at that potential and calling someone a CC based on their potential to be a CC. And the great thing is I've made all the mistakes in this business and got to learn from them, right? And so I definitely put that label on a lot of people that it wasn't accurate. And so I'm very, very conservative. So I love that Dana shared the realness of, like, it's been since 2014 of an actual CC, right? Because we can be like, oh, I found somebody and they're amazing. But what did you say? Yours, we'll see, right? And I think that is, that's really real, and I'm glad that we can share that with you guys. So I'm not saying...
Yeah, like so when you bring someone on, and actually let me preface this really quickly. So Miley, first of all, joined us from Hawaii, came all the way from Hawaii, brought some of her amazing team members. Who are CCs. But the reason I asked her this question is she has, I mean, I might be wrong, but from the people I know, the most Founder 2.0 on her team. Like, how many do you have now? How many founders on your team?
What time do they announce?
Yeah, we have a brand new one. Who's in the room upstairs?
What, did it get announced already?
Let's just say.
Okay, so 3. 2 are getting announced today, so watch doTERRA Business on Instagram for their announcements. Leonani and Lavena, so incredibly proud of them, and they're actually both on Malia Ka'aihue's team, who is also a founder. So all
that's
CCs,
why this question
like
is so appropriate, because you're doing, and sometimes we're like just in the motion doing the things, but what would be assignments that you give people when they come on to know, is this going to be somebody that I want to invest my time and my resources into?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually launching another CC right now. And so what I'm doing with her is, the first thing is, get me a list of who you would partner with, who would be your front and second line that you want to partner with. And then we go through and we talk about who these people are, why they selected them, why they put their name down, because that's going to tell you a lot about what they think of this business, what they think it takes, who they are going to bring out of their network. So really asking them for those names. I used to say, get me a names list of the people who you're gonna, your 100 names list. But that's just everybody they know. And so I wanna see what traits, what skills, what they're looking for as who they're gonna partner with. Because if they can't, like, you don't need to be able to bring on CCs if you just wanna build this business or if you wanna be a sharer. But if you are a CC, to me, committed and capable means you can bring on CCs. And so I want to see who they can bring on. The skill set, like Eric was talking about, is so important, but that's what you can learn. But if you don't have people that you can bring on to work with, so like Malia, that was one of the first things we did. It's like, who is your front line? Who are you going to be running with? Do you already have them? Do you need to find them? What are you looking for? So rather than telling them, this is what you need to find, asking them, who do you have? Who are you looking at bringing on to do this with you, to partner with you? And then going through and really seeing what are the qualities that they are seeing that they think they need. And then we can refine from there. Because I've definitely asked some people that I thought, who said, I want to build this and I want to do this. And they say, I have no people for builders. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Swing and a
and that
miss.
tells me a lot, right? And we'll still work with them, and we can still learn the skills, and we can still build. But am I going to put them in a spot where I would put a CC? No.
Do you do three-way builder calls with these gals?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah, do you do three-way builder calls? Dana, Bailey, Eric? I feel like that has been one of the most powerful parts of building a successful network marketing team. It's three-way.
It just
three-way builder
allows
calls.
you to step in and have that confidence that your builder can't portray quite yet to their prospective builder, right? It fills such a major gap there. So yeah, I think they're huge.
Yeah, and for those of you who aren't familiar with what that is, I would encourage you talk to your upline, talk to your crossline friends, and ask about what a three-way builder call is. But it's really simple. It's basically you getting on the phone with your business partner who, like Miley said, is bringing in somebody new, and you're kind of vetting your business, or the person that's coming in. They get to hear from somebody who is more successful. You don't have to be a presidential diamond to do a three-way builder call. You can be an elite and do a three-way builder call with the person that you just enrolled that is bringing somebody on. So they are a really powerful tool. Sarah Jansen, you all know her. You got to hear from her earlier, and she might sing for you. I'm not really sure, but if she does, we'll all dance. So I would love to hear from you. What is one thing right now in your business that you're doing that's working well?
I would have to say showing up. It's been, I think, easy to hide in this season. And especially if, like I said, if you did have leaders kind of hiding themselves, it was easy to just kind of take that cue and be like, okay, I guess we're hiding. I guess we're slowing down. I guess this is what we're doing in this season. And that I have heard on several teams, like, oh, things are just slowing down and this isn't working. And then we have this and we have that. I mean, people are working it. They're working. It's working. Yeah, it's not working or you're not working. Yeah, what she said. It's a choice. And so showing up. And so during this time, I feel like I've run more things like for my team. At one point I told Matt, I'm like, I don't think I can do any more programs. Like I love doing it, but like it's a lot, but it brings results. And so I'll just give you an example of something that worked really well that we did. We did what was called the First Love Club. And we put this together as a 5-day challenge. I don't know if I love that term or not, but a 5-day gathering, kind of like a virtual retreat. And for those of you that are like, I want to do that, I actually have the file and I can put it somewhere. I'll send it to you. I'm like, where did I put that? It's in the Diamond Board. It's in the Diamond. Yes, only if you sign up to go to GoPro. I will give that. It could be a bonus. Yeah. No, but what we did is we gathered everyone who had ever built a business with us, people that had kind of fallen off and gotten sad and gotten discouraged. You guys, people they don't just quit outright. They're sad. They're heartbroken. They wanted this to work for them. And so if you're not reaching out to them and you're not holding out your hand, being like, I know it's hard, but come with me. Like, we can help you fall in love again. And so with that program, we just brought them back to their first love. And we talked a lot about kind of some of the things I talked about in my talk today. We talked about oils. We talked about all the things. And we had hour-long Zooms of just sitting there chatting over coffee and tea. And but
you talked a lot about events like convention and
bringing memories up. We posted pictures of past events, like bringing those feelings up again, and then really giving them an avenue to re-engage. And so, I mean, that was just one of the things that we did. But if you are stuck, if you feel like you are stuck in that plateau or that valley, whatever it looks like for you, just get back into action. I'm just going to preach that all day. Like, just choose something and do it. Don't get overwhelmed today by all the things that we're sharing. You're going to have to pick one thing. And for me, I can show up. Like, I can gather people. It's something I've always loved to do. And something I didn't mention in my talk is that we traveled the country for 10 years in a motorhome with our 3 kids and 2 not RV-sized dogs. And we did our doTERRA business that way. But that's what I know to do well, is to get people together. And when I couldn't do it in person, I could do it online. And so don't stop just pouring your love into your team. So that's
And
what's
community.
been working.
I think you guys are maybe
Community.
picking up on a theme, and I'm going to go to Eric next, and I'm going to have him share. But you're picking up on a theme too. There's community. When we are in a position, did you know that okay, I might say this wrong, but the human face has over 50, do not Google this and do not quote me on it, but has over 50 muscles. It's so interesting that we've been covered up for almost 2 years. And those muscles were intentional design, right? And we've covered them. And so people are not just missing connection in person events, they're missing connection in faces. And so one of the things that has been really powerful for a lot of us, because I know these ladies well, even though we have different teams, is showing up in a way virtually where we can still build community and doing recognition. And we started doing something on our team calls on Monday nights where we do our announcements, and then we have 2 unique aspects that have worked really well. We do a 90-second leader spotlight where we highlight a leader. She's answered or he's answered these questions, and we pin them in the Zoom so everybody can see their face, and we talk about them for 90 seconds. And at the very end, we have 5 minutes left on our team call to do shout outs. We just say, what have you seen in somebody else that you want to recognize? So building community. Eric, what's something that you've been doing that's been working?
We talked a little bit about 3-way calls. I was going to ask you what you have been doing since you're a presidential diamond and a new founder. But you need to share a little bit about this because you've had it easy today. You need to share.
I've gotten really good at delegating.
No,
Eric has taught me how to delegate.
The thing that I like to do is I like doing 3-way calls, and that's really been a key for me over the last few months. And really what my role is on a 3-way call is I'm to edify that new person that's there. The new upline member, I am there. I'm the most excited. I'm the most complimentary. I am the most engaged. And I am the closer also. I look for a way to be able to close, to be able to get a commitment from that person that's on there and meeting me for the first time. And I am the most excited and dynamic that I can be. I'm on my game at these particular moments, and I don't want to disappoint my downline. I want to help them. I want to show that I'm still in it. I'm still got it, and that's what I do on my 3-way calls.
I love that.
What are you doing, Season? Can you share a little bit more about what you're doing?
I was ready to go on to the next question.
I'm not going to let you go. You got to talk.
Yeah, I think for me, actually contacting, recruiting, and blocking time out in my day every day. Well, actually, I take that back. Not every day. So 3 days a week, I block out about an hour to 2 hours to start contacting. And so contacting looks, Dana talked about it today a lot. I will do it I have my list of people that I am looking at bringing on as a business partner. And in that hour to 2 hours, some of that is building relationship. So nurturing a relationship, not doing the, hey girl, I got an opportunity for you. Or hey boss babe, worst. But so in those moments, it's either building relationship, nurturing relationship, or if the relationship has already gotten to a point where it would not be weird for me to ask direct, I've been getting people on calls. And so I'm always using my audio or my voice if I'm communicating on text or Instagram, Facebook, so they can hear my voice, and just saying, like, I can't let another day go by without reaching out to you. I've been thinking about you. I've been watching you. I love how you show up in this space. I enjoy what you share. I would love to have you as a business partner. And I know this might be direct, but if you'd be willing to consider getting on a call with 20 minutes with me, I'd love that. And just, if anything else, and I always close it by saying, and if nothing else, please take this as a compliment. And people do. I've had one person get super offended recently, actually. I won't say what company they were from, but it surprised me. But again, I said, thank you so much for being honest and transparent. But again, just take this as a compliment. So contacting is working well for me. Okay, so I want to ask, one of the things that I believe has helped me grow personally, I know these people as well, is having a morning routine. And so I want each of you to take like 60 seconds to share what is one thing in the morning you do to help contribute to your personal growth. So we'll start with you, Miley. Sorry, I know you're like, don't start with me on any of the things. There you go.
So the funny thing is, I, for a while, had a really great morning routine that I loved. If you've read The Miracle Morning, I love having that quiet time, that movement, journaling, all of that. But I have 3 young girls. And so I had a long season of frustration with the fact that I couldn't get any quiet time for myself, and really, really struggled with this. And it's, it's kind of embarrassing, but I feel like I'm finally coming to the other side of this, especially with having pulled my girls out of school and brought them home, and our schedule being all over the place or non-existent even maybe. And instead of fighting it anymore, giving in and having them be part of my morning routine, and realizing that my responsibility as a mother, I mean, I didn't, and maybe I'm just really behind on this, I didn't even know about a morning routine until I was in my 30s. So I didn't learn that when I was a child. And so the beautiful blessing is that I get to actually now do that with my kids and have that quiet time. They love meditation and we do this Abraham Hicks one, and they say breathe in, breathe out. And so that's what they call it. They're like, can we do breathe in, breathe out? And teaching them to have a morning routine and what that is. And it's, like I said, it was a big struggle for a long time, but we're finally to this other side of seeing the gift in that struggle was going, oh my gosh, I'm not supposed to be trying to keep them out of my morning routine. I'm supposed to be teaching them what it's like to start your day with purpose.
Oh my goodness. And this comes back, do the best you can with what you have in the season you're in. And so for so many of you, I'm sure you have little kids and you were forced to homeschool and all the craziness. And so do the best you can with what you have and where you're at. And I love that you included them. That's really cool. Sarah, how about you?
All right. And you're the queen of morning routines, so we're swinging back to you in a minute. But I love that you brought up the fact that a lot of times it's popular in the mom culture to be like, get up and get away from them, and get your time. It is important. I am going to say it is important to have that alone time, also important to bring them into it. And working from home, they do see us chasing dreams and doing that and finding boundaries and all of those things. So for me, it's very similar to that because we homeschool as well. And so in the mornings, they know where they can find me. And that's on my big squishy couch in my office. And starting back in February, I started to read through the Bible in 1 year. And I've done it every single day. And it's made probably the most difference in my business than anything else, which is crazy. Now, when I do research about successful leaders, it always says successful leaders have some sort of spiritual rootedness, right? An anchor to a spirituality for them. And for me, that's the Bible. And so my girls know that they can come and, we love talking about it. They have their own little coloring Bibles and they sit right there next to me and they'll hear me listening to it and they'll have a question. And it's just a beautiful time. And I find that the more time I spend in that, the more productive and successful I am during the day. And so I try not to rush that. And I give it probably a good hour, sometimes hour and a half. If I do have time, it might be longer than that, but it might seem like a waste of time to some people. But it never is when you can pour that love and intention and prayer. Especially if you are looking for business partners and you have a really specific thing you're looking for and you're just trying to run it yourself. I'm trying to push it myself. But you are not looking to God or your higher power. Like it gets rough. And so I'm going to just encourage you, if you haven't added that to your morning routine, like that's what's made the most difference for me.
I love that. Dana Moore.
Okay. So I make my bed. I get up and we make our bed and lift all the blinds and start the day. But there is true psychology in that, because when you go back to your room over and over, you've done something, you've accomplished something, you have a win, and that actually filters into everything else. But I make my bed, grab my coffee, and I go outside. I'm a huge morning sun advocate. I'm in a season where I need to care about my health more even so than normal. I'm in a healing season post COVID. And I need that morning sun. So I walk in the grass barefoot. I sip my coffee. I listen to Soul Space. And so I'm a multitasker and an achiever. So this is my very restful way of having a quiet morning by doing yoga or walking and drinking coffee and listening to Soul Space and soaking in the sun. And it's very still and it's very quiet, but it's very achievy. And I feel great about it. But I am definitely also like, I cannot pour from an empty cup. And I know nobody really can, but the truth is like, I find myself at my lowest self if I don't like have that, like kind of like, okay, get my mind straight, get my body straight. What's our day look like? Get focused. What do I need to accomplish? And then I'm good to go. But the sunshine is just like, it feels like true life, you know, like it's like energizing and it sets me right. And so I encourage you, whatever your morning stuff is, if you can do it in the sun, it's like bonus points. Yeah. So I like bonus points.
Because she's an achiever and an Enneagram 3. Not Dana. Bailey King.
I usually start with movement. So it's one of two. Either I'm on the pickleball court with my 70-year-old friends who all need deep blue, which is really great. And I'm competition number 1. So that like feeds me to start my morning with competition. But if they're not available, then I do a walk with my husband, Matt, just on the road. We're in the country, so it's on the road where we can still like see our house as we walk back and forth to make sure everybody's alive. Because we both work from home now and we have 5 kids, 10, 8, 6, 5, 2, that we homeschool and really no help in our home. Just that's not what we want in this season. And so we just get ourselves centered on like, what are you accomplishing today? What do I need from you to accomplish what I need to accomplish? Just really starts us without chaos, which is pretty hard to come by in a house of 5 kids, 10 and under.
I got anxiety when you started talking about it. I was like, oh. I like just outside walking and connecting with your partner. That's important.
And we all homeschool. Somebody said, does everyone homeschool on the panel, aside from Eric, who has grown children? But like the rest of us, we do all have our children at home.
Yeah.
So,
Eric.
You know, Season, the key for me is to make sure that my evening is prepared for the next day. I take the evening to make sure that I've got everything down that I need to do the next day. And if I do that right, the morning is perfect for me. It all works well. And if I can do it right in the evening, I need to, in the morning, sweat a little, eat something good, and learn something. And one of the things that I've done is I've been reading How Will You Measure Your Life by Clayton Christensen. That's a good book that I've read. And then I also signed up, this is going to be a little bit of a pitch for the GoPro folks, but I signed up for the GoPro Academy. So I go in there and look for a little mentoring session and see if I can learn something that's going to help me be a better upline, a better person, a better mentor, and a way to serve somebody else along the way.
That is really good. I love that. Nourish yourself, move your body. One of the things that you said that I just started doing in the last month was I did start before I went to bed. And this is hard for me because by the time I'm done with work, I want a glass of wine and I don't want to talk to anybody about business or work. But what I found is my next morning, and I have a 2-hour morning routine. It's long. Yep. Lots of things. But I would go from that to like jumping into business without getting really clear on what I needed to accomplish the next day. So at night before I get in bed, I write out 5 things that I'm going to do the next day, like my 5 priorities for the next day. And that has made, it's so simple, but it's made such a difference that when I finish my morning routine, it doesn't go to waste because I'm all of a sudden immediately stressed and like, what's next? So I think that's really key. I love that. What am I doing in my morning routine?
Now they're all going to be like 2 hours.
I'm going to run through it real fast. So first thing I do when I wake up is I go down to my office and I have my Bible and my meditation and my gratitude journal. And I turn on Soul Space, which is a free meditation app. A lot of us use it. I do like a 5-minute meditation. I read. So I'm really simple. I'm reading through Psalms or Proverbs and I just choose the Psalm or Proverb of the day. And I read that. And then I have a daily devotional called Jesus Calling. I'll read through that. And then I always write down, I have to write down at least 5 things I'm thankful for. And there's some days where I'm like, breath in my lungs, right? Like just some days it's harder. Shelter, I got a roof over. And some days it just comes out and it flows and it starts my day just pivoted right. Then I go upstairs, I do my coffee enema. It's a whole nother conversation. We'll do a training on that later. I'll have Eric and Marina do a visual on coffee enemas, just kidding. So I do my detox. I do a detox and I listen to something that I can learn from, whether it's a sermon or a podcast. And then I move my body for about 50 minutes. So I sweat, go downstairs, get all our supplements ready for the day. and this is going to be a little, yeah, I'm just going to say it. Sex in the morning is amazing. And no, here's the thing. So for those of you who are married,
I agree.
it actually
But then
starts
you have to
your
remake
day.
your bed.
You do have to, no, you don't. But here's one thing that I want to say. Everybody, I'm looking in the kitchen. They're like, oh, God, Susan, who let her talk? But when this business works well, it's because you have a really supportive spouse. You have a really supportive partner. And not that that's the only reason that that would happen, but that's a really important connection piece for some of them, maybe. But my point being is stay connected, like Bailey shared, going on a walk. Doesn't have to
We
be
choose walks. Just
walks.
saying.
Well, you also have 12 children. But just stay connected to your partner and make sure that you are in communication and you are communicating with them what your goals are for that day or what you're going to accomplish. And the rest is a bonus.
I would say to my team, like, if their marriage is struggling, their business is struggling.
Yes.
Like it's completely parallel. And so it's a lot of times we become counselors in a lot of different ways, coaches and, you know, but if you can stay on top of that, then yeah.
Literally figured it out.
Oh boy. Here we go. I think that's a wrap.
And we're done. Actually, we are. But here's the thing. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for just taking this time and sharing with everybody. Remember, one of the really cool bonuses that we decided to put together for you is if you do purchase a GoPro ticket, you will get to mentor with us for 4 sessions. We're going to do 4 1-hour Zooms, September, October, November, December, and just coach you and talk very candidly. So if we've offended you already, you might not want to join. But truly just, yeah.
I think that's a great way to start the morning.
Right, thank you, Eric.
This is how we weed out our people.
But don't forget, you will have the opportunity to learn more from these amazing humans, and we want to meet with you once a month. And hopefully if we see you guys at convention, please come up and say hello as
A
well.
lot of people got their tickets.
Yes, I know. Yeah, what's the link? It is doTERRAGoPro.com.
Yeah, I will show.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So thank you guys. Appreciate you. Are we going to take a quick break to clear the stage? Okay, another 5-minute break. Go hydrate, get your favorite oil, move your body. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Grab your husband or your wife.
I only need 5 minutes.
All right, welcome back, you guys. I hope you enjoyed your break. What a great panel that was. These people are pretty awesome. If you don't follow them on social media already, please do. You'll get a lot more gems and just knowledge from them. So I am so thrilled to introduce you to this amazing woman who I actually just had the privilege of meeting for the first time today. She is a badass woman. It's probably the best way to describe her. This is Eric Worre's wife. Her name is Marina Worre, and she has built an incredible name for herself as a woman who has helped inspire so many women in this industry. She started putting on an event that I attended, gosh, I think it was in my first year maybe of network marketing, specifically for women in network marketing. And I remember sitting there going, how awesome to be surrounded by these women who have accomplished their dreams, but are still pushing forward and inspiring so many people. Marina is what many of you would probably look at as like a pillar of confidence. And so when we were talking about what she should speak about, that's what I asked. I asked, would you be willing to speak about confidence? And I don't know about you, but I think that's something that many of us struggle with, right? You might look at all of us up here on stage, think, oh my gosh, they have the best confidence. And sure, yes, we do have confidence. As you learned from Eric, we've practiced to develop that confidence. It doesn't mean it's unwavering. I think it does come and go. So I wanted her to share a little bit about confidence, how to gain confidence, how to sustain confidence. And you're going to love hearing from Marina. Come on up. Thank you so much. Thanks for speaking.
Oh,
to all
thank
of
you
these
so much for
people.
having me.
Yes.
So, first of all, congratulations to all the amazing women watching this program and couple guys, because I can see the representation in our living room. Majority of them are women. And you know what's interesting? This is the representation of our profession, because you probably guys heard that 77% of all the participants inside of network marketing are women, right? And when I started the women's event 7 years ago, you know, it was interesting for me to see, because first of all, I realized there was a need to serve our community and women inside of our profession. But one of the things that struck me was, you know, I wanted to put all the powerful women on stage who can speak, who can share from their experiences and their wisdom. And I was struggling. I was struggling to find 7-figure earners, representatives, the top income earners in a lot of different companies. So I started thinking about it. Why? What is the reason? What's the problem? Because we have 77% of all the participants in this profession. We have the raw material necessary, but we do not necessarily have the same representation at the top. Of course, because of the nature of your products, you have the majority of women inside of your company. And of course, you have a lot of the top women in your company as well. And I know a lot of them, and a lot of them are my good friends. But that's not necessarily the case in the entire profession. So I started asking myself, why? Why we do not have that many women on top? And you know what? Being a woman myself, I realized that, first of all, one of the things that we don't believe in ourselves. We just don't believe in ourselves, because Eric and I will coach a lot of multi-million-dollar earners inside of our profession, and a lot of great leaders, a lot of successful men and women. And what I see most often that I would like to see is we don't believe in ourselves, especially women. You know, that old voice that you kept hearing when you were a little girl, that you're not smart, you're not good enough, you're just a woman. Who do you think you are to dream big dreams? You know, your place is to be supportive spouse and raise kids and just take care of the home and let the rest for men to take care of. And a lot of us buy into that nonsense. You know, a lot of us, yes, we do give birth and raise generations, and that's good enough, right? But at the same time, we feel like we're not capable of building the business. First of all the mamas out there, I'm telling you, and you would agree with me, that giving birth is much harder. Raising kids is much harder. Network marketing is not that complicated. Yes, it's challenging. Yes, it's any business. It requires skills and the mindset necessary, but you know, it's no comparison with raising kids, right? So why in the world we do not give ourselves permission to dream big? Why we think that we're not capable? Why we think that we are not deserving to reach for the stars? And that's why, you know, I decided to create the movement of women who believe in themselves, the movement who becoming a badass, you know, who believe in their opportunity, in their rights and ability to live the life of their dreams. You know, I consider myself lucky because since I was a little girl, my mom told me that I'm smart, I'm powerful, I can achieve everything I want in life. And you know what? I was naive enough and I believed that. And I started my life. I opened my own business when I was 18 years old. I joined my first network marketing company when I was 21 years old. So I was like that power cracker and powerful and independent woman. And guess what? Life started happening to me as well. I became a single mom. I lost my finances because at that time I thought that I'm financially free and I thought that I'm pretty cool chic, right? But it ended up being not the case because I lost all of that. But most importantly, I lost myself. Because at that time, I was for 9 years in a relationship that was not necessarily serving me. You know, it was not physically abusive, but it was verbally abusive relationship. And first of all, my heart goes to every single woman, man, or child who ever had to go through physical abuse. It should never, ever happen to anybody, period, right? But for me personally, I feel like, you know what? I can take a punch. You know, the bruise is gonna heal, but what do you do when you break my heart? How do you heal when you break my soul? How do you come out of that? You know, and that's what I found myself in my mid-30s. Broke financially, single mom, and worst of all, broke emotionally to the point that I was disgusted by the reflection in the mirror. And, you know, it took me time to find my confidence back. It took me time to find that badass, to develop that woman again. And when I found it, I made myself a promise that I'm going to do everything in my power to, first of all, help all the girls who never believed in themselves, who bought into that nonsense that they're not good enough, not smart enough, and not deserving to live the life of their dreams, to help them see a bigger picture and believe in themselves. But also for women who had that confidence and lost it through life, to find that again. And, you know, when I looked at all the years that took me to get back on my feet, to get back into believing who I am and becoming that badass woman, you know, I see there were several things that were really important to me. And Alexei, if you can throw the slide, I'm a visual person and it helps me, and I hope it's going to help you. And this is right now, this is the graphic that I created because I just finished the 8-week program for women who were part of the women's event, and they decided to take it to the next level, how to become a badass. So I'm going to try to give you like a quick rundown on the confidence part of it. Because here's the thing, you can utilize this chart for anything you want to be confident in life. It's not necessarily just about network marketing. It's not necessary only if you want to get to the next level or next rank or next income or whatever it might be. You can build that confidence, that level of, you know, that strength and that power in anything you want in life. So first of all, the most important part is to identify what do you want to be confident in. You know, because a lot of people, especially, and put like 3 in the comments below if you feel like you're really confident in something. And it might be music, it might be being a mom, it might be whatever other skills and talents that you guys have, that you're very, very confident, that nobody can shake that confidence. Look at all these 3s. You're all confident at something, right? And if I had an opportunity to ask all of you why you feel confident, and you would tell me probably, and more likely, is because you did it time after time, and you practiced that, and you spent some hours learning those skills. And by practicing those skills, you became confident more and more. So these are the 10 steps that I identified that helped me to become confident in pretty much anything I want in life. So first of all, understand what is the task, what is the skill, what is the goal you're trying to accomplish, what do you want to get confident at, right? And then start thinking about what are your strengths and talents and skills, right? And what are the weaknesses? Like Eric said, you have to have skills inside of network marketing profession so it will help and build your confidence. So first of all, understanding. Some of us might not necessarily be good at talking to people or helping a new person start it, or not necessarily good at social media or whatever it might be. Or maybe you are just having your first baby and you want to be confident in that. So identify what are the strengths that you have, what are the skills and talents that you possess and you know and you're really good with, and what are the things that you still need to improve. Right? Number 2 would be to identify what is the support and resources necessary. So a lot of times we put so much pressure on our upline, and guess what? Sometimes our upline may join the business just 5 minutes before you did, and they're not necessarily have all the answers. But that does not mean that there are no people who already accomplished what you would like to accomplish. That does not necessarily mean that you cannot find help and resources necessary. I'm sure that a lot of trainings and information that you need to be successful in doTERRA, you can find on your website, on your company website. And I know you guys are doing events, and I know the leaders put on events. There are generic events like Eric and I do. There are a lot of different ways where you can find that knowledge and support necessary. So identify what they are. Identify what's the problem first, right? And find the resources necessary where you can learn more. Because here's the thing, you know, a lot of people think that it's all about resources. It's not. It's not about resources. It's about being resourceful. It's about how you find the right answers to the questions that you're looking for. In today's era of information, you can learn about anything almost in like a split of a second. It's called Google, right? You can Google a lot of information. You can see there is a lot of free training online on pretty much anything you want to get good at, right? So find those mentors. And here's the tricky part. You need to find the people who actually know what they're talking about. Don't take financial advice from broke people, right? So make sure that you find people who are a little bit ahead of you down the road that you want to go. So, and be careful of taking a conversation or take it to the heart from the people who have no idea what they're talking about. And I'll touch on that a little bit later. So understanding, find those mentors, find those time machines that Eric talked about. Prioritize. This is a big deal because here's the thing. I know we women specifically, we tend to go into the state of overwhelm so fast and so easy. And I'm actually really grateful that Susan mentioned on that on that panel what is your morning routine, because having those little routines and the moments for yourself is really important, because if you're all over the place, your business is going to be all over the place. And guess what? We all have to-do lists that are nonstop, especially if you have kids. It's just never ending. You need this and you need that and you need to take care of them and you need to take care of your husband and you need to take care of your laundry and you need to take care of your business, and it never ends. So prioritizing is really important. Being busy for the sake of being busy is not productive. You need to put the stars in your to-do list. What are the productive activities that will help you to grow your business today? What are the things that if you do today will help to move the needle? So, and I bet you it's not 100. It might be 3, it might be 4, it might be 5. Those basic productive activities is talk to your prospects and offer them your product or your opportunity. And of course, once you have the team, talking to the team and helping and raising the productivity of that team is another productive activity. And a lot of the little things that are around that. But, you know, doing laundry is not necessarily going to help you build your business. So you just need to prioritize. I understand some of you control freaks. I am one of those, you know, freaking out right now, like, oh my gosh, I cannot build my business because I have a lot of dry clothes that I need to fold. Hire help. Hire people who can help you to do what you need to do. Because guess what? You know, there is a concept of $500, because Eric talks about it and you probably heard it before. But if you want to make 7 figures a year, it comes down to probably $500 an hour. But you can do $500 an hour activity, being in front of your prospects, being in front of your team, doing things that actually gonna help and grow your business. Doing laundry is not. So you can hire help. So if you're thinking that you're saving $20 an hour to go your grocery shopping, to fill up your car with the gas and all that kind of stuff, you are not saving $20, you're wasting $480. So find the help necessary and do what only you can do to build your business. Preparation. Here's the thing. I've seen it time after time when people go in a promo mode and they start talking about and presenting the business and presenting the opportunity, but all of a sudden they realize that I don't have anything to show people. I don't have a sample. I don't have the oils. You cannot necessarily promote your products and show your products if you do not necessarily have them by hand. You know, so see what are the things that you need to do to prepare and be ready for it. And sometimes those are the tools necessary. If there is video that you would like people to watch when you're presenting your opportunity, if you have any collateral material, booklets, magazines, whatever it might be, right? And your products, make sure you have it handy. And don't stress out if you do not know all the answers. Alexi, throw the slide again because we lost it. So focus is the next important one. And here's the thing. I had to learn that the hard way because I want everything to be perfect and I want everything to be under my control. But guess what? You cannot do everything. You cannot be everything for everybody. So you need to understand that you need to focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. I know some of you probably are not necessarily happy, and you are probably saying that I wish my company would do shipping faster, or I wish we had better tools. I wish we had better presentation. I wish this, I wish that. Can you fix this? You can wish for the company to be whatever they need to be, but it's up to them to do their job. You need to do your job. If there is a training missing, you create the training. If there is a tool missing, you create the tool. You be the leader for your team, and you show your level of leadership by solving those problems. Bigger the problem, bigger the paycheck. So understand that things that you can control and things that you can solve, you go ahead and solve it. But don't stress out about the stuff that is outside of your control. Progress. Progress is a big one. I understand sometimes we want massive changes, massive, impact. But every step in the right direction is already progress. And you just need to see and measure based on the schedule that you created. So for example, you want to achieve a next rank. So first of all, you need to know by which date you want to achieve that rank, right? And then you need to understand that, okay, so this is how I'm going to get there. These are the bullet points, how I'm going to achieve it. And there's always, I don't know your specific comp plan, but any comp plan has a specific structure that is attached to it. You have to create a certain amount of volume. You have to create a certain amount of distributors in different places, and they need to produce a certain amount of that volume. And based on that, you can decide what it's going to take, how many leaders in that level and this level and whatever is going to take you to get to the next level so your income can grow, or you can achieve that next rank, right? So create that schedule and look at those bullet points. Are you on track? Are you not on track? And guess what? A lot of things gonna go haywire. Every time you think that the line to the success line is a straight line to the moon, it's not. It's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster of emotions. It's a roller coaster of events. It's a roller coaster of everything. Everything works perfect until you add people to it. And this is what we have to deal with, guys. We work with people. So everything that you planned may and more likely will not work exactly the way you planned. So be okay. Be okay to pivot. Be okay to adjust and adapt to your plan. The next one is risk reward. And it's more on the business side of things, but in network marketing, what I do believe the risk reward is, don't be afraid to talk to people if you don't know all the answers. I understand it feeds your ego to, hey, I know everything. I know all the answers. I'm perfectly prepared, and I'm preparing and preparing. A lot of you are lost in the land of the preparation, and that's unfortunate. Network marketing is very forgiving. You can mess up a presentation and you can still sign up a distributor. You can mess up on all of your ingredients and you can still get a customer. You can be not the greatest and the best and the most powerful leader, and you can still have the team that does generate results. So first of all, yes, of course, strive for greatness. Yes, of course, keep going and learning and become better and better every time. But don't be afraid to pick up that phone and talk about your products and services and your opportunity, because you don't know all the answers and you're afraid that somebody gonna tell you boo. They will tell you boo. And people gonna reject everything that you have to offer sometimes. But guess what? It's part of the journey. One thing I want you to understand, inside of network marketing, we have the gift. We have the gift with your products and your opportunity. You can improve people's health, you can improve people's lives, and you can improve their financial state. We have the gift. Our job is to offer that gift. And if they decide not to take it, it's not your fault. It's not your responsibility. Your responsibility to do it in the most professional way so they can see it, so they open-minded. So, like you talked, one of the leaders were talking about the whole dating game, right? That you kind of like, hey, do you want to sleep with me on your first day? That's not going to work, right? So don't be like that, but understand that you need to learn the skills. You need to learn the mindset necessary so you can do it in a professional way. And guess what? How are you going to become professional? By doing it and practicing it, doing it again and again and again. Yes, your first presentation may suck. Your 5th and 10th and 20th going to get better and better and better as long as you learn from it. And that leads me to the next point is a feedback. Listen to the people who are much more successful than you and ask for feedback and tell them and ask them, it's like, hey, what can I do better next time? How can I present it better next time? Especially if your closing ratio is not as high as you would like it to be. Listen, and don't take it personally. Don't take it productive criticism as something that is designed to destroy or build or destroy your confidence. No, it's actually designed to help you to learn from the mistakes, to improve them, and be better next time. And like I said before, do not take advice, financial advice, from broke people. And here's the good measurement for you. If you want to trade places with that person, then you want to hear their feedback. But if they're not as successful as they pretend to be, or if not that smart, or have the experience necessary, then you just need to be careful. Sometimes people can be jealous. Sometimes people, your light and you striving for greatness makes them feel uncomfortable. And they don't want to see you soar because it reminds them over and over again that they gave up, that they settled for mediocre life. But you're not one of them. I know you're not. You're sitting through this training right now. I know you have bigger goals. I know you have bigger dreams. So yes, work on your mindset, work on your skills, and keep moving forward and learn from those mistakes and become better every single time. And celebrate those achievements, especially when you have a new distributor, when you have a new team member. They're scared. Remember when you started. I remember when I started, yes, I was confident, and yes, I thought that I'm a badass at that time, right? And at the same time, I needed to have those little achievements. I needed to have those little victories. You sign up a new customer, great, wonderful. Let's help you to sign up a new distributor. You got 5, awesome. Congratulate them and celebrate them throughout the journey, because that builds their confidence. That builds their belief in themselves, seeing those little victories. I know that so many people told me the story that they were so happy when they got their check for the first time, regardless of the amount. Even if it was $1, even if it was $10, it doesn't matter. First of all of a sudden, they realized that this business is for real, right? That it's not a scheme, that it's not a joke, that it's not whatever, right? They realized it's business and they can make money, but also they felt so confident. It's like, I did it. So keep celebrating those victories. Don't don't throw a huge party when somebody does a 1-foot jump, but still realize that those little victories are important all the way to success. And of course, the last one is mindset. And the reason why I put it last, it's not because it's last and least important. This whole entire thing is mindset. Everything that I talked about is mindset. I just wanted to put it on a separate note so you remember that everything that you have here that's what you put out. Garbage in, garbage out. So you need to be very, very careful. What are you allowing into your mind? What are you allowing into your head? Who are the people that you're spending most of your time with? Who are the stories and information that you're listening to? I heard again, one of the speakers before me told me that I cannot pour from the empty cup. So you have to fill up your own cup first. I have to fill up my cup so I can come and pour into you. And your team needs your cup to be full as well. Because without that, you cannot help them. You cannot show them the best way. So It's been my honor and privilege. I can talk for hours. I wish at some point we will, but congratulations on everything you guys already achieved so far. But guess what? I know that all of you are just getting started. And I know that there is a lot of powerful women that are going to be coming out of this event, that are going to be coming out of your company. And I cannot wait to see some of you virtual at the GoPro or the Most Powerful Women event or one of the events that we're hosting here in our house. So never give up and continue to move forward. And I'm super proud of you guys. And Susan, back to you.
Thank you so much. You're so amazing. In fact, I don't think you could see the chat, but there was a few people who were like, the best speaker of the day. I mean, I won't take too much offense to that, but people are loving this. So thank you, Marina. Amazing, right? You know, one of the things that she said that I think is so important is you do need to believe in yourself. And when somebody takes a little jump, you don't throw a big party, right? But those people taking little jumps, sometimes we have to hold that belief for them, because they can't quite see it themselves. So remember that. Sometimes we have to hold the vision for other people until they can see it themselves. And like Eric said earlier, Marina touched on it again, it's the actions, it's practice. Confidence doesn't happen overnight. It's showing up every day and screwing up and failing forward and continuing to do so. So thank you again, Marina. That was amazing. The next speaker is the very amazing Bailey King. She's so fun. Again, I hope that you guys have a privilege or have the opportunity and the privilege to get to know each of these speakers, because most all of them are in our company. And Bailey is wonderful. I first met Bailey, I think, on a presidential trip. And we were having dinner actually with Corey and Emily. Right. My husband and I just fell in love with them. One thing that Bailey does really well, and I'm saying one thing because she does a lot of things really well, is she knows how to book classes. And she knows how to make classes really fun so people continue to come. So we asked her to speak about her booking classes magic. In fact, we titled it Booking Classes Like a Ninja, because that's basically what she is. So Bailey, why don't you come up and share? Thanks for speaking.
Yes, happy to be here. All right, you guys, I am super pumped. This is one of my favorite topics, probably because it has come somewhat easy to me. And so I'm really excited to share. Let me give you like a 60-second intro. If you're new to my world, I do reside in Iowa with my husband, Matt, our 5 kiddos, 10, 8, 6, 5, and 2, half in Iowa, half in Florida. And like most of you, I stumbled into this incredible world of doTERRA on accident. We had begun cloth diapering one of our children, and my cousin saw that we were doing that on Facebook and sent me a packet of information because I clearly was the crunchy mama. Well, what she didn't know was that I wasn't. And after doing some research on what she had sent me, I really fell in love with what these oils could do. And they've changed my life, and I probably can't say it all here. And so we're just going to keep that for another day. But I really began to love sharing oils with others. And here's why. As a stay-at-home mom, it was my pleasure and my opportunity to sneak away for a couple hours at night and be with other women. Now, that might sound terrible because I was excited to leave my children, but you know, right? And so I enjoyed having that break. And what I quickly learned was that I had this great skill of getting classes booked from classes. And I would never leave a class or a party, whatever you want to call it, without at least 1 to 2 more scheduled. And so it came very natural to me, and I developed the system. And then as I started to get a team and they were struggling with getting new classes booked, I realized what a huge issue that was. Because if you can't leave with more things booked, you start to lose that momentum. And so I kind of developed and wrote this out for you guys, and hopefully it's helpful. And I am going to give you a link at the end that has a lot of the scripts and the graphics for you. So don't panic trying to take pictures of all of it. But let's get into the presentation. How I booked 60 classes in 6 months. All right. So people don't want to come to classes anymore. We've got to dispel that right now. People are so ready for that connection. And so if you're in an area where you can get back to in-person, I just restarted in-person classes last week, and it was incredible how people showed up. People brought friends, and we actually ran out of seats, and people were craving that connection, and they were craving that piece of getting help, right? People are really hurting right now, and I could offer hope and help for so many of their issues. And so I'm just going to say that's a complete myth. And if you're in an area where you can't get together, you can still do this online. Do Zoom so people's faces are there and you still have that connection. All right. Classes are boring because they aren't interactive. So we solve that by creating an interactive class, right? People aren't actually giving hope to people. That's another reason that people aren't booking classes from classes. So you have to make it interactive and you have to give hope to people. Third, we don't have the confidence to look Betty Sue in the eye and say, I got you. This is going to change your life. So those are 3 keys to making your class great. People aren't going to sign up with what I show you next to book their own class if the class they attended sucked. So we have to make it really interactive. I love to give out samples every time somebody answers a question, right? They're winning stuff. They're interacting now. I love to be able to give them hope, right? I start my class by asking them what they're there for. And every single person shares 2 to 3 things that they're there to learn about. And I write those things down in a seating chart fashion on my note paper. So when I get to lavender, and Betty Sue has told me at the beginning of the class that she's really struggling with sleep, I'm literally going to talk about lavender and look her in the eye and say, Betty Sue, this lavender is the one you are going to love for your sleep. I got you, right? And so I'm giving her that one-on-one help so she really feels valued by the end of the class. All right. So is it true that you can't book classes from classes and nobody wants classes? Absolutely not. I booked 60 classes in 6 months and had a baby in that time. And it's exactly what I've been doing for 7 years straight to get to presidential. And I'm back to doing now. I just took a break during the pandemic. And now I realize, oh, my business has slowed down because I stopped. So I should get back, right? And it's working because of what I just said. I have an incredible attitude. I'm there to have fun. I have a great gift system, which I'm going to show you. And I make sure that my explanations of everything are customer based. I'm not getting into science. I'm not getting into 87 kit options. I am keeping everything very simple, very customer based. All right, attitude, let's break it down. We have got to focus on the 3 reasons that they chose to host because they had a fun and engaging experience. So you've got to redo that. They got individual attention. So you've got to do that. And then I showed them all the gifts and they're going to actually get some choice in that, which makes it really fun. So I really, truly have the attitude of why wouldn't you want to host a class? They are really awesome. Instead of like, will you do this for me? It really is like, why wouldn't you want to do this? And so that really helps me too. All right, gift system, because this is like the nitty gritty part that's really going to help you, right? I like to give a gift for every 2 new guests and every class that's booked because those are my 2 objectives. You fill the room, I'll close the sales. You convince your friends to book classes, I'll make it awesome for them. And so now the host is getting rewarded for the 2 things that I want her to focus on. All right, this is my hostess program. She is super simple. I am not a graphic artist. I am like a done is good enough person. So I'm sure there's people who can make this way more pretty, but it's good enough. So I like to give a keychain full of oils when they book, and I'll tell you exactly how I do this in a minute. And then I let them choose their gifts based off of what I just told you. Every 2 new guests gets another gift. Every class booked gets another gift. So if Betty Sue had 7 people show up and 2 booked classes, she is going to choose 5 gifts out of my gift bag. Now that gift bag is just going to be simply filled with products that I have. I like products instead of oil because I don't have to explain them, right? Toothpaste, cleaner, mud mask, body butter, cough drops, you name it. I lay them all out and she chooses whatever she wants, which also helps her LRP because then she falls in love with them, right? All right, why does this system work so stinking well? Because I'm rewarding high attendance. It's immediate gratification because they get the keychain the minute they say they want to host. They get the choice of gifts, so they don't have to be told, oh, it's like frankincense month or mop month. No. You get to choose whatever is most beneficial for your family. And it's products they want and will fall in love with and reorder. It is like fail proof for me, all right? There might be ways to tweak this, but I'm telling you, I have used this same thing for 7 years and it has worked beautifully. And I will just be honest, you can take this online. Usually not quite as much success because you're not handing them the gifts right there, but you can take the same system online and they can answer the questions I'm going to show you in the chat instead of on their handout. All right, here is my way of doing this. I teach about the oils and then I pause for a giveaway. I'm going to give you the giveaway slip that I use in a minute. And on that giveaway slip, there are 3 questions and then of course their name, their email, their phone. And I literally hand them out, I give them a pause, right? And I say exactly like this. Now we're going to do a drawing. I'm passing out the drawing slips. Now you'll see there are 3 questions. The first question is if you have an interest in oils. You're here, so of course you can mark yes. Now we get them marking yes, right? Like there's some psychology played into this. The second question is if you have an interest in hosting your own doTERRA class like the one today. And I tell them this, like, this is not for me, like I'm saying this. The reason people love to host is that you'll get this awesome keychain. And I'm literally showing the keychain filled with all the oils they just learned about, and they don't want to wait for their order to come with us, right? Now they get them right away. It's filled with all the top oils on the go. Plus, it's super easy to host. Just ice, water, a couch or a kitchen table, and 4 or 5 friends. Usually people are sitting here already thinking, I wish my friend Rhonda was here to learn about oils for her anxiety. And lastly, there's even more gifts that you get to choose the night of your class. You get to choose things like shampoo, body butter, bug spray. Look at all the things Sarah gets to choose from tonight. The third question is if you'd like more information on the business side of doTERRA. The reasons I love this business is I love helping people who are looking for something natural to improve their health. I love that I don't have inventory or large upfront investment, and I love that there are no sales requirements, so I can do as much or as little as I want. Mark that down if you have interest in learning. The great thing is there's zero obligation, just an opportunity to learn how to get your own products for free. And then there's yes, no, and maybe for all 3 questions. So they're doing that, and I'm like, okay, host Sarah, can you pick those up? I do the drawing, all right? Now, after the class, I'm gonna show them kits, I'm gonna show them how to order. Then I'm gonna grab those drawing slips. After I do the drawing, the class has ended. I'm gonna quickly sort by anyone who marked yes or maybe to host. That's the only question I'm looking at right now. When they've marked yes or maybe, that's a yes. Yes and maybe both equal yes in my world. And after they have given me their order form, I'm going to look them right in the eye, and I'm going to hand them their keychain. And I'm going to say, I'm so excited you have an interest in hosting a class. Here's your keychain. Are you thinking you would like weeknight or weekend? I love choice of 2. I like live my life by choice of 2 because that's easy, right? She's like, oh, I want weeknight. Awesome. Would you like the 15th or the 17th? I would like 15th. Great. Does 7 o'clock work for you? Yep. Okay, here's your keychain. I'm going to email you everything else you need to know. Bada boom, bada bang. Another class booked, and it maybe took me 70 seconds. And I move on to the next yes or maybe. Amanda, awesome. I'm so glad you wanted to host. Here's your keychain. Do you want nights or weekends? Boom, boom, boom. And it works beautifully. People kind of don't know what hits them, but they marked it. So I'm not forcing them to do anything they didn't want to do. They already thought through it and marked it. Now I'm just leading them through the next steps, right? All right. This is why doTERRA is great. I love this quote. I began learning long ago that those who are happiest are those who do the most for others. Your mindset around booking classes from classes truly has to be you get to serve more people. The more classes I book, the more people I'm in front of, the more hope I give. And that is what drives me. I don't need to necessarily work for my fast start from enrolling this week, but my joy is in helping others. That's what fills my cup. That's also where I find my next builders who can then help more people. So our mindset really does play a piece in this. All right. If you would like the wording, the handout with the drawing slip, and you would like the handout with the gift system, you can head to theoilkings.com/hostinfo, and you will have all of the information there. All right, you guys, I hope this was helpful. You'll have everything you need on that link. So if it was quick, no worries. I'm just really appreciative that Season asked me to come join you guys, and I hope you guys are able to get that first class booked in the next 2 weeks. That's my challenge, right? Reach out, find someone who will do you a favor, get the first one booked so that you can then take it and roll with it. Have a great day, guys.
Holy cow. That was like fire. And if you saw the chat, it was like nonstop. Like, Bailey, you're amazing.
Like, slow down. Was that there's the
No,
whole time?
it was so good. Such like tactical steps and tricks. Thank you.
So welcome.
And she's taught this. Can you grab Miley too?
Yeah.
Miley, if you hear us, come down, paging Miley. She also was a guest speaker on my team call a minute ago, which was like a year ago, 2 years ago, before 2020. So this was a couple years ago. And what I love about this isn't something new she's done. This has worked for a long time, and she's just continued to do it over and over. So thank you again, Bailey, for sharing. And like she said, you guys, people are actually missing connection, and not everybody, and they don't have to come in person, but I would encourage you to do that. In fact, is it okay if I give you an assignment? I learned this from my mentor, Eric Worre. The giving assignments is really effective because you could take all of this that you're learning today from all these amazing people, and it sits in your journal and you do nothing with it. Or you can take all of this and just implement small steps. So your assignment is this. I want you to book 2 events, one virtual and one in person. And I want these events to actually be for your post-convention reveal. Meaning, we have convention coming up in a couple weeks, right? We're going to have new product. We're going to have all of this amazing stuff, all new information that we need to share and get out to our team. So I want you to book a virtual post-convention event and an in-person. And really what the opportunity is to teach your teams, your customers, your business partners about the new product and about what you learned at convention. But offer both, offer in-person and offer virtual. Okay, that's your assignment. If you're in, I want to see a thumbs up, or I don't think you have that. Give me a number 1 in the chat. If you are in and you are going to book 2 events, 1 in person, 1 virtual for post-convention. Awesome. I'm seeing all kinds of ones. Wonderful. Okay, so you guys, we have an incredible opportunity here from the amazing Miley, who came all the way from Kauai with her team. And we're also celebrating a couple of new founders. I'm going to let her announce that because it's like a mom. You want to like celebrate with your people, but we have them here with us in Vegas, upstairs in Eric and Marina's home. So we get to celebrate with them. And this is so exciting. I can hear them clapping upstairs. But Miley is a new friend of mine. We just met in the last year and a half. And I just fell in love with her. And I love how she leads her team. She has 3 founders on her team already, which is pretty incredible. So I'm excited for you to hear from her, hear what's working in her business. And go ahead and come on up, Miley. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Hello, everybody. Oh, fun to see everybody on. This is an incredible experience and setup, and I just want to thank Susan so much for the invitation to be here and to participate in this event, and just the heart to offer this to everybody in doTERRA, that very generous offer, and to Eric and Marina for hosting us at their beautiful home. I'm still like pinching myself if this is real. So I just want to give you guys a quick little intro about me. I, like Susan said, I'm from Hawaii. I'm a presidential diamond with doTERRA. I've been with doTERRA for about 7 years now as a builder. I was massively opposed to network marketing, big time. So if any of you are sort of there, just know that you can still find huge success with this business model. I was a doTERRA customer for about 2 years, a super loyal customer, did LRP every single month, and was not at all going to look at the business opportunity until my husband really strongly encouraged me to check out a compensation plan video. And I saw what was possible for me to be able to do and to build this income stream with the resources that I had. I didn't have a lot of upfront money to invest. I didn't have business experience, but I had time. I had 2 young children at home, and I had time that I could do in the little blocks of time that I had in between raising them, and my mind and my heart and desire to want to do this. Very similar to what Sarah shared when she said she saw the business plan and she was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to run with this. And that's exactly what I did. So I adore our compensation plan. I love strategically building business partners. And so that's what I get to share with you guys about today. So my topic is creating a business plan for Diamond Plus. And on the other side of that plus, I want to add for Diamond and Founder. You guys heard Eric talk this morning about doTERRA being a legacy company. And I really want to encourage you to be thinking about the legacy that you're building with this company, right? We're in this for the long game, or I hope you are. I hope you chose in this morning when he talked about making that choice, because the founder opportunity, you guys, it is very, very real. And again, I'm so excited to be able to share this with you guys on the day that both Leonani and Lavena are announced as brand new founders in this company. This opportunity to be able to become a founder in a billion-dollar company is a once in a lifetime. So we're going to talk about creating that Diamond Plus founder plan. When I think about this, when I heard the opportunity for founder, I want it for everybody on my team. I want it for every builder on my team. And I want you to stop and imagine if you had 6 frontline who are founders. Just stop and really think about what that would mean for you, for your future, for your legacy. And know that that's possible, but you have to make a plan for it. So I don't even care if you're not a diamond yet, but you need to have a diamond plus founder plan for every single person on your front line, right? You have to invest in their business. It's not simply a plan for how to get them to the rank that you need them to be for your rank. That is not enough. That will not get you there. That will not build your legacy. So have a diamond plus plan for every single one of your front line. How are they going to get that? How are they going to get to diamond? How are they going to obtain a founder spot? Do you see that for them? Do they see that for themselves? And so I want to talk a little bit about building people and building builders. I read a quote very early in my doTERRA business, and it was from Zig Ziglar. And a lot of you guys have probably heard this before, but it was, you don't build a business. You build people, and then people build the business. And I really took that to heart. I fell in love with building people. And, you know, being a presidential diamond and that title that comes along with that, you know, Season touched on how, you know, this confidence, and it does waver sometimes. And I've had times of questioning myself of like, why am I a presidential diamond? Like, really, why? I don't teach the best essential oil class. I'm completely terrified of speaking. Like right now, totally sweating, have my notes. Like everybody who knows me knows I'm so nervous to speak. So it's definitely not that I'm a great speaker. And I really looked at, what is it? Why have I been able to create this incredible team and this incredible success? And what I've done is invest in people, invest really heavily in building people and building leaders. I love that. Like it is just something that really fuels me. I'm so passionate about helping people raise up to their highest potential, and to partnering with them and doing that and creating strategic partnerships. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I do just want to touch on the fact that, like, with everything that's going on in the world right now, in a lot of people's businesses, right? Things are changing, things are shifting. And like somebody mentioned today, like I know a lot of people, peers at very high levels in the company who are really wavering and wondering, can I keep going forward? Can I rebuild? Because a lot of people are in a rebuilding phase. I am personally in a rebuilding phase, and I'm excited about it. And I thought, what's different about this? Why am I excited about rebuilding instead of being terrified of it, or instead of dreading it or saying, I don't know if I can do that again? And the biggest difference is I know I can build another person. To me, rebuilding doesn't mean I have to go and find 100, 400, 1,000 new customers, new enrollments. It doesn't mean that I have to actually work a ton harder. It means I need to work smarter. It means I need to find a new partner who wants to partner with me and the skills that I have in being able to build this business, and sees that opportunity and wants to learn how to build their own business. I don't build other people's businesses for them anymore. Been there, done that, as probably a lot of you have, and enabling people and doing it for them. It is not sustainable. You can do that, but like Eric talked about this morning, people who hit a rank one time, right? You get the title, but you don't get the paycheck. For me, this was always about providing for my family and creating a legacy for them, not about the title, not about the recognition, definitely not about being asked to speak in front of thousands of people. It was about providing for my family. And the way that I do that is by building solid teams. So let's talk about that. So launching new builders is really a skill set that every single network marketing professional needs to have, right? It's not enough to go and fish and enroll people and to place them under your team and to get you to that rank. If you haven't taught your leaders how to fish for themselves and how to actually teach that skill to other people, you're going to hit a wall. And when we're in challenging times like this, you're going to be the one who says, I don't know if I can do that again. So let's talk about how to do that. So when I'm looking for a CC, like we talked about on the panel, I'm looking for people who want to jump in my va'a or my boat. We call it va'a in Hawaiian. I'm looking for people who want to go where I'm going, but I'm not just looking for people who want to jump onto my boat and go where I'm going, who want to jump along for the ride. I'm looking for somebody who wants to build their own va'a and who wants to sail with me, but who wants me to teach them and to mentor them on how to do that, how to avoid the mistakes, how to do it faster, how to implement different strategies that I've learned, but who wants to build their own thing and build their own crew and who wants to go along with us. And so that's what we're doing with Founder. And that's why Malia is a founder. She's doing the same thing. She's building her own fleet, right, of ships, people who want to run and build their own boat and sail along with us, but who are doing it themselves. They're building their own businesses. And that's why they're able to move so fast. So it's all about finding the right partners. I hear so often that people are saying, I want to find builders. I need to find leaders. To go back to what Dana was talking about today, right? About who am I going to marry? Looking for a husband, looking for builders, right? We need to find partners. So there are a lot of people out there who are builders, who are leaders. Are they the right person to partner with you? Are they aligned with you? Do they appreciate and value the partnership with you? Right? It's very much like having a spouse, having a partner in this business. I have a really limited bandwidth of how many people I can actually partner with because I invest heavily in these relationships. So really finding a partner that you can help succeed, that you can align with and help them achieve their success. And so it's so important to build that trust with that person, that they know that you are going to be there for them and you are going to mentor them and support them through this journey. And for me, it's important to know that I can trust them, that they're using what I invest in them, both, money, but more so my time, right? We talked about that being the most valuable thing you have. That is the most valuable thing that I have that I can offer to somebody, my time and my experience with this business. And so I want to know that if I'm partnering with somebody, that they value that time that I'm giving to them, that when we have a mentor call and we set up this business plan and this strategic plan and decide what they're going to do, that they actually do it, that the next time we meet, they say, yep, I did those things. I'm ready for the next step. That is what the partnership with Malia was like. She's on my front line and we just had so much fun building together because she knew that I knew what I was talking about. And that I knew how to steer her in the correct direction. And I knew that whatever I told her and that she said she was going to do, she was going to actually do it. I didn't have to check up. This is her business, right? So we got to partner on that. And then really having this awareness about your new partner, if they're the right fit for you. One of the things we talk about a lot is time, treasure, and talent. What does this person have to invest? Like I said in the beginning, I didn't have a lot to invest. I didn't have a lot of upfront money or a lot of skills in network marketing to invest, but I had my time. And so does your prospective partner know what they have to invest? Do you know what they have to invest? Do they come with this self-awareness saying, here's what I can do. Here's what I'm ready to invest in my business, in my partnership with you. Are they bringing that level of awareness to your conversation? When you're asking somebody to partner with you or when you're looking for somebody to partner with you, it's more like an interview than this like scan, right? For who, I need a builder. You're looking for a partner, so it's an interview process. There are not that many available positions, right? I have 6 frontline. I don't have 20. I definitely don't have 200. I don't have the bandwidth for that. I'm looking for a partner, so I need to know that they understand that investment and that they're ready to invest, and they're coming to me almost saying, here's what I'm ready to do to be a partner with you. And do they have a unique talent? What do they have? Do they have a huge network? Do they have some knowledge or certifications about oils that give them this other, what is the word I'm looking for? Credibility. Everybody has something to offer. So figure out what that is, and really they should know what that is that they're bringing to the table with you. And then goal setting, really getting a clear map. Every single one of you, again, this isn't talking about your Diamond Plus plan, because you should have that, but really looking at your partners, okay? So making sure that you have a Diamond Plus plan for every single person that you're bringing on. Again, it doesn't matter if you are just starting to build. If you're giving somebody a frontline position for you, having a plan for how you're going to help them achieve Diamond, right? That's what I always said from the beginning, is when I started to build, I was like, I can't wait for us to be diamonds and to go on these amazing trips together. Know that for them. Speak that into them. Not that they're going to be a silver for you to be diamond, or that they're going to be a platinum for you to be presidential. How are you going to get them to diamond together? Not you building it for them, but how are you together going to partner and get them to diamond, to get them to founder? And having this clear plan with rank, power of 3, founder, month to month, what are the milestones that need to be hit along the way? Milestones can be moved, right? But they're little stepping stones along the way. Don't just set that goal of diamond and each month, if you don't hit it, going, oh, I'm not diamond yet. I'm not diamond yet. That's what I did. My only goal was diamond, because that's what we thought we needed to retire my husband. Having those milestones would have been a lot more helpful had I had a mentor who could help me break that down and go, okay, this is our 90-day. This is our Q1 goal. This is our Q2 goal. What does that look like in terms of enrollments? What does that look like in terms of how many people you need to get onto LRP? Break it down, and don't just do this thing where people go, okay, I'm going to hit this rank in this month. Because that's when you have that situation where you hit a rank one time, right, and don't ever get back to it. This is a business. And again, this is a long-term business. So really create that clear map of what you're going to do. So business plans are living documents, right? This is something we come back to, we revisit. With Malia's run for founder, it was 6.5 months. In 6.5 months, she went from enrolling to founder and diamond. And initially, our plan was a 4-month plan, if I remember right. And obviously, it adjusted. But we always had a plan. We had a 4-month plan for her to hit founder and diamond, and it got extended. But we just came back to our same plan. We just adjusted it, right? We never went back into the GPS and said, okay, never mind, diamond and founder is not where we're going anymore. We didn't hit it in 4 months, so let's clear the GPS. No. We had some detours, but we always were heading in the same direction. It took us a little longer than we had initially planned. I don't think 6.5 months was too long to hit founder and diamond. It was incredible, right? But making those adjustments, so that self-awareness and being able to ask yourself, am I still on track? Am I not still on track? Why am I not still on track? What do I need to do to get back on track? But you need that plan. You need that roadmap to know where you're going. If you don't have that mapped out for not just for yourself, but for each of your qualifiers, you're not going to know where you're going. So if I can leave you with anything, invest in your builders, in your partners, and in their success. If you invest in their success and to help them reaching their goals, not just the rank goal that you need them to be to hit your rank, right? If you really truly invest in them and their goals and helping them get diamond and helping them get founder, you will get to where you need to go, right? You will be diamond and above. You will be a founder. So yeah, I just want to close with that. You guys, invest in your people, build the people, build the people, and the people will build the business. Thank you.
Awesome. That was so great. Thank you. Thanks for coming all the way from Kauai.
Love you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. That is so important, right? We've learned all these things and we've heard so many people speak about incredible ideas and vision, but you have to have a plan. And one of the things she said at the end that I think is so important to remember and has actually become very evident this last year is your plan. It's okay if it's in sand. You can't take your eye off of your goal, right? And you're so committed to that, but it's okay to have your plan in sand and reroute your GPS. I've shared this before, but in April, I was planning on hitting founders in April. And I got a call from Sarah Marie, who's our general manager of US sales. And she's like, I have bad news. We miscalculated your points. And so you aren't going to hit this month. And I was like, what? And I did. In that moment, I lost belief. I lost confidence. I was frustrated. But like she just shared, it wasn't like, oh, done, shut down GPS, I'm over. No, it's just reroute and replan, right? Well, this has been such an incredible training, and I am so excited to bring back. In fact, I encourage you guys to start texting your teams. If they start to drop off, listen, right now there's only 1,100 people on, and I think we started off with about 1,500. So text your teams, get people on to close out this incredible session with the one and only Eric Worre, who is going to just share his brilliance with us. And I asked him, he says, what do they need? What do they need the most of? And I don't know about you, but I feel like we need massive action and we need to recruit more. And so what are some things that you can share with us about that? And so he said, absolutely, whatever you guys need, I'm here. So Eric, thank you again for pouring into all of doTERRA and just sharing with us.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Excellent work. If you've gotten some good value so far today, put a number 3 into the comments. Gotten some good value? You're ready to go. Look at that. Lighting up the chat. Congratulations to all of you for your commitment to your business, your commitment to growth. I want to spend about 30 minutes with you talking about some ideas on how you can do better, how you can go faster, how you can bring your check up, how you can help other people do the same, how you can impact more people. Okay, that sound good? We'll do as best we can in 30 minutes, and then we're going to go hang out with this crew here at the house for the rest of the afternoon. But I want to go to our little magic board here, and I want to show you something. And I want you to take a little bit of self-analysis, a little bit of self-inventory, okay? There are 4 things that we do in network marketing. 4 things that are available to you to do inside of doTERRA. 1, we sell. We sell products, valuable products, using word-of-mouth advertising, the most powerful form of advertising in the world. So you're amazing at number 1. Unbelievable. World class at number 1. But it's only 1/4 of what's available to you. Okay? It's without sales, nothing happens. So don't get me wrong. It's not like it's a small thing. It's a huge thing. But there are other avenues available to you. Remember that word I told you called leverage? This is what I mean by leverage. The second thing we do is we recruit other people and show them how to sell. We build an ever-expanding team. When I finally understood the numbers, and it's just like, it doesn't have to all be me. I can build a team, and I can lean on that team a little bit, and there was no limit to the size of the team that I could build. I could go recruit a lot of people, and I could teach them how to sell just like I sell, and I could start to enjoy leverage. Now, I will tell you something. There's a big lie in entrepreneurship that people say, and here's the big lie. Ready? Only do what you love. Because if all you do is do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That is the biggest pile of nonsense ever uttered. Only do what you love, really? Do you think an Olympic athlete only does what they love? 6 a.m. training for 6 hours, eating 12,000 calories, having ice baths to get rid of the lactic acid. Do you think they love that? No, but they're willing to pay a price in order to be able to do the thing that they love, to experience the life that they love. Okay? So I'm an introverted person by nature. I didn't mind selling a product using word of mouth advertising. That was no problem. Recruiting, here's a secret. It was one of my least favorite things. To go to a person that might be biased against what I do, focused on something else, and try to persuade them to take a look at what I have and maybe consider starting a new business. Going through all of those landmines was challenging for me emotionally. I had to trick my mind because I saw the value in it. I had to trick my mind, and literally, like it was I put my recruiting clothes on and I would go recruit, and that's all I would do. Some of these people, I see them, they're recruiting everywhere they go. They're in the restaurant, they're recruiting. In the hotel, when they're checking in, they're recruiting. They're recruiting in the lobby of the airport. They're recruiting when they walking around the block and meet somebody. That was not me. They're on all the time. I had my recruiting clothes on or I had them off. But when I had them on, then I would just treat it like a project, and I would put my head down and I would get it done because I saw the value in the other side, right? So, and I also know that some of you have a little bit of a complex when it comes to the money side of network marketing. Here's what I mean by that. You love the mission, you love the cause, but you hate kind of admitting that you profit by selling the product. If this is resonating with you at all, put a number 1 into the comments. If you're feeling like this at all, just a little bit, it's just like, ooh, it feels a little icky. Oh, I'm talking about a business. I'd rather talk about the cause and the mission. Ooh, yuck. Right? So I get it. I understand. But I will tell you this. If you really care about getting your products into more households around the world, if that really is your mission, guess what you'll focus on? Building a bigger team. Because you can't reach the world by yourself. You need a team to do it. So like, okay, well, that's my mission. I want to reach more people. You can't do it by yourself. And guess what the money does? The money gives us all an excuse to hang out and grow together. It gives us a justification for the time that we're spending developing ourselves and helping other people develop. It gives us choices and options that aren't available to most people. And I will tell you, when it comes to money, this will sound strange. To some of you, it won't. But I grew up in an evangelical Christian home. And based upon that upbringing, there are some challenges around money mentally. Like, is it okay? It's hard for a rich person to get into heaven. Is it okay to make any money? And look at all what I need to do. Over here? Yeah. All right. Yeah. He's telling me where to move. So it took me a while to realize that money wasn't evil. It took me a while to realize that money creates options and choices, that money can serve a lot of needs, personal and to the world, to your community. It gives you the ability to do things that other people can't do and help people that can't help themselves. So it took me a while to get emotionally grounded on the fact that the business side of what we do is actually necessary for us to be able to achieve our mission. So selling is number 1, recruiting is number 2. Number 3, we duplicate. We duplicate. We not only do we sell ourselves, not only do we recruit other people, but we duplicate the process. We teach them how to do the same thing. And if we do this right, then there are people who are building a business with or without us, people who are operating with or without our encouragement, our support, our direction. Something happened to us, God forbid, they continue to move. They continue to build and grow. So duplication starts to create multiplied leverage. Recruiting brings leverage. You get a little bit of leverage from selling because some people continue to buy after you sold one time. You get more leverage when you recruit and build a team. There's other people working. You multiply that leverage when you start to have duplication within your organization. And number 4, we lead. We increase the productivity of the teams that we build based upon our leadership. Take two teams of 100 people. One's a great leader and one's not so great. The one with a great leader is going to be more productive than the one with a weaker leader. So, just in a little inventory of these 4 things that are available to you, how many of them are you currently taking advantage of? Put into the comments. Of the 4 that are available to you, how many of them are you currently taking advantage of? Lots and lots of 1s, some 2s, some 4s, which is great. Some 3s. But your honesty is amazing, and I appreciate that. I just want you to understand the gift that you have and what you can do with it if you really flex your muscle. You know, when I talked to you before about figure out the skills, it's not just figuring out the skills to sell. It's figuring out the skills to recruit. It's figuring out the skills to duplicate. It's figuring out the skills to lead. For me, learning those skills, committing to those skills was the thing. I engaged in something. I will give you a process. One, first of all, like those 9 courses, that whole power training system that we talked about earlier, I'll let you know when we're done here at the end. If you haven't got it yet, you need to get it before you finish today because that offer is going away. 1, get the information, okay? Get the information. But then 2, I will give you a process that I used to become world-class at all 4 of these. If you want to be one of those superstars, I want you to hear me. There's nothing and no one that can stop you from mastering these 4 categories. Nothing. 0. And if you master them with the skills attached, you never have to worry about paying bills the rest of your life. You don't have to stress out about money. You don't have to worry about what's going to happen to a family member if they can't take care of themselves. You literally don't. So, once you make a decision, say, okay, fine. And let me ask you a question. Put a 10 into the comments if you're committed to developing these 4 categories in your business. Let me see. You see how hungry you are. Cool. Keep it going. Let's get all the 10s in there. I want to see every single one from all of you because it's available. It's doable. You can do it. This is what changed my life. One of my mentors in my 20s, I was struggling. I'd made a decision. I was going to learn it. I decided I was going to get all the information from the best experts I could find. I was going to make sure I surrounded myself with excellence, find mentors, find coaches, pay them whatever. It didn't matter. I wanted to save time. But a friend told me, Eric, can you improve 0.3% per day? 0.3% a day. I think that's actually, I did that wrong. 0.3% a day. And that doesn't take much. I mean, the courses that we want to do in the event that we're going to do, you can improve 2% a day if you want to, 5% a day. It won't take long. I mean, if you took, let's say, 3 days and all you did was work on answering objections, answering questions, overcoming objections, and you became amazing at that in 3 days with the right coaching, how much would your business improve? It's more than 0.3%, way more. So 0.3% per day. And this person, I said to this person, I said, well, yeah, I could do that. He said, well, Eric, in 1 year, that equals 100% growth. And guess what? At that time, I was about a $5 per hour person. You know, when I started here, $5 an hour. So I was just like, if I can go from $5 to $10 an hour, okay, fine. And $10 an hour is about 20 grand, $20,000 a year. I made more than that. But year 2, it's 200% from where you started. Year 3, it's 400% from where you started. Year 4, 800%. Year 5, 1,600%. Year 6, 3,200%. Just 0.3% a day. Year 7, 6,400%. So if you take this, you go $20 an hour, $40 an hour, $80 an hour, $160 an hour, $320 an hour, $640 an hour. Can you make $640 an hour? Yep. You can. I really started here. And guess where I was after 7 years? In my 7th year, I made $980,000. So if you do the math, this is very close between the $640 an hour and $980,000. Now, you know, what do I make an hour now is a stupid number. It would scare you if I told you. But I used a process of thinking about this and a process called plan, do, review. So this little thing is the secret to world class. It's a secret to mastery. It's a secret to excellence. It was a secret for me. It can be the secret for you if you use this simple little thing. Get the information, get the training, get the coaching, get the mentorship, and make a plan for anything. Let's just say you're struggling finding prospects. Okay. There's people who are world class at that, finding prospects, can give you 50 different strategies. So you're going to make a plan on how to find amazing prospects. You're going to do the plan. And when you're done doing it, you're going to review and say, how did we do? What could I do better? What could I improve on? What worked? What didn't? And based upon that review, you're going to come back and make a better plan. You're going to make a better plan. And then you're going to do that. And then you're going to review again. And you come back and you make a better plan. Get a little coaching, get a little advice. Like, let's say you want to be a world-class dancer, right? And you have a coach. You want to be a dancer. Guess what the coach is going to say? Show me something. Because the coach can't review and help you improve until you do something. And then, oh, okay, no, do this different with your legs. Do this different with your arms. You got to do this different with your hips, whatever it is. But you got to do something so they can review it and give you some feedback. The doing is what creates a positive feedback loop. What I understood and what I learned over the course of this career is there are no good experiences and there are no bad experiences. There's only learning experiences. So that's where the do part comes in. That creates learning experiences if, when you're done doing anything, you review and say, I'm going to use that. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to add this, and I'm going to do it again. You want to give the best presentation to a prospect in doTERRA history. Guess the way how you do that. You get all the feedback, you get all the input, you look at all the best presentations, you get a coach, you map it all out, you make a plan, you go do it tomorrow with a prospect. And as soon as you're done, the presentation, hear me with this, the presentation itself almost doesn't matter. What matters is the experience. Because at the end of that presentation, they said yes or they said no. They gave you feedback. There was information. There was this tool didn't work. This one took too long. They got bored watching this video. Whatever it happens to be. I said this and I saw them mentally tune out. And you use that to come back, make a better plan. And then the day after you do it again. And you're a little better. And you get that feedback loop. The day after you do it again. And again, and again, and again, and again. This will sound like bragging. It's not meant to. I'm one of the highest paid speakers in the world. Okay? I get paid 6 figures just to speak for an hour for companies. 6 figures. I get paid almost $500,000 for a 3-day event international. How did that happen? Guess how it happened? Plan, do, review. Leaning on this, becoming world-class. And here's the good news. You can become great pretty quick. You can become great pretty quick. It doesn't take as long as you think. In a year, you can become competent on these 4 things. In a year, you can become proficient, independent, have the ability to operate without help or without support. In 3 years, you can replace any full-time income and go full-time inside of your doTERRA business if you want to. In 5 years, you can be one of the superstars. In 7 years, you can become world-class. And now here's the thing. You're going to be 7 years older anyway. Why not be world-class and 7 years older? You can do this. It's available to you. Now, look, one other thing I just got to tell you before I give you a couple comments to close is there's a difference between employee-minded people and entrepreneurially-minded people. And most of us have been trained to think like an employee since we were 2 years old. And to only act when there are consequences built in. Brush your teeth or there's going to be consequences. Finish your vegetables or there's going to be consequences. Stop hitting your sister or there's going to be consequences. Make your bed or there's going to be consequences. It repeats in school. Study for the test or there's going to be consequences. Don't talk in class or there's going to be consequences. And we're slowly taught to live inside the box that other people want us to live and to follow directions that other people give us. We go into the job force and it's the same thing done. Military, same thing. We're outer directed. And then we join or we start an entrepreneurial venture like you have right now. And we sit back and we wait to be told what to do exactly. We're easy to blame other people. for our lack of progress, our lack of success. We don't take responsibility. We're impatient when it comes to time. We're not willing to invest much in terms of risk. We're still thinking like an employee, our rights versus our responsibilities. If you want to go to the next level, guess what? You have to learn to think like entrepreneurs, and they think different. Employee-minded people are outer directed. Entrepreneurially minded people are inner directed. Employee-minded people think about work as something to avoid or to get away from. Entrepreneurially minded people think about work as a gift, as creation, as growth, as legacy, as purpose, mission. You got to make a shift. And if you make the shift, you make the decision, you get the skills, you start working, you start applying plan, do, review, you start doing all these different things, and you step into all 4 pillars of what's available to you inside of network marketing instead of just 1 or 2. Once you do that and you're proficient at it, then you would literally have the ability to give people the gift of life. And what I mean by life is a life better than doing something they don't want to do every day in order to be able to pay the bills. Choices, options, freedom. So, 3 things, and then I'll remind you one last time, give you one last opportunity to get that 25 hours of training from me for free with all the workbooks and the downloads and the PDFs and the video and everything else. By getting a ticket to GoPro. But 3 things. Number 1, every single one of you, now more than ever, it's time for you to think bigger. Yeah, I know you got a company that lets you come in for $100. And you got these little products and these little cute little bottles. And because of that, you think little. And you know, hey, you act like you have to apologize when you talk to prospects. Oh gosh, I'm sorry to bother you, but I just have this gift that can really improve your life. But it's this little thing. I only need a few minutes. You play small. And by playing small, you're squandering an incredible opportunity. You need to think bigger. The world is not served by you playing small. And some of you that have been playing small, not because you don't have the ability to be big, but you're playing small to help somebody else in your life not feel insecure. You're afraid to show how powerful you really are because it'll freak some people out in your circle. You're not doing them any service by playing small and hiding who you are. Yes, it's $100, but it's $1 million business. Yes, it's small little products, but incredible reach and opportunity for everyone involved. You've got to think bigger. Whatever your goals are, you need to double them and double them again. Number 2, it's time more than ever. I'm hearing a lot over the course of today. God, it's been quite a year. So, guess what? Growth right now is a choice, not a consequence of what's going on. Guess what the world is looking for? Somebody to stand up with their shoulders back, their chest out, and their chin up, and to be stronger than the circumstance, to be stronger than the news cycle, to be stronger than the distractions, to be stronger than anything else that's going on. And when they do, they stop complaining, they stop moaning, they stop whining, they stop crying, and they just decide, follow me, because I've got this. Once you stand up strong enough, everybody will want to follow and be part of what it is that you're doing. Your belief will be the security blanket they need in order to be able to do what's necessary in their life. I don't want to hear about glitches and challenges and problems. That happens everywhere. I don't want to hear about, we have Zoom fatigue. Shut up. We have a gift to be able, we're talking to 1,100 people right now. That's a gift. It's a miracle. How much did you pay to watch this? Nothing. How's that even possible? We have it. We have the ability to do it. So be stronger. Think bigger, number one. Be stronger, number two. Number three, you need to move faster. Success loves speed. If you're going to do something, get it done. Go fast. Run. Even if you're not prepared. Do it messy. Do it ugly. But just do it. Go. Run. Progress is perfection. The learning is in the doing. You got to go. And some people like to say, well, inch by inch, it's a cinch. And you become a doTERRA zombie. I've been here 8 years. Right? The other lie in network marketing is you can't beat somebody that never quits. Yes, you can. Not quitting is not going to take you to the top. Okay, of course, if you quit, that's going to guarantee you fail. But you have to stay and get better. You have to stay and plan, do, review. You have to stay and be committed to your skills. You do those two, and of course, you can't fail. But if you're going to do it, if you're going to be here, let's go. Some of you have been sitting underneath a rank that you should have been at a long time ago. And the only thing stopping you from doing is a decision. Make a decision, pick a deadline date, and tell the whole world. Put some accountability, create a workout partner, whatever you've got to do in order to be able for you to step into your potential. Think bigger, be stronger, move faster. Success loves speed. So before I bring Season back up, one last time, you throw up the slide with the QR code and all that. This is what's available to you. If you want to step into your business, or if you know somebody that's not on here and you're going to get a ticket for them, that's fine. They'll thank you later, I promise. A ticket to GoPro, December 3rd through the 5th, plus the entire power training system. You can go to doTERRAGoPro.com or scan that QR code to be able to get that, okay? If you've got a ticket already or you're going to get a ticket before today ends, put a number 7 into the comments. Let me see. Love it. Love it, love it. And really, truly, the value is far beyond what I sell these courses for individually. The value is what you do to turn this into a better plan, and you start the process of plan, do, review, plan, do, review, plan, do, review, plan, do, review. I've helped millions of people around the world to live a better life inside of network marketing. We can help you too for sure, okay? But you got to take a step. If you're wondering, I might wonder. If some of you are saying, well, I'm not sure if my husband's going to be okay with this. We're talking about $200. Buy it, get through it, and then use the information so you never have to ask your spouse again. I say that in love. So, mad love to all of you. I'm a super fan of what you've built. I'm an even bigger fan of what you're going to build. It's amazing. It's spectacular. You should be proud of what it is now, but get a clear picture in your mind of where it's going to be in 10 years and how big of a piece of that growth you're going to be responsible for. So, Season, she's going to close it out. Mwah! See you later.
Thank you, Eric. You guys, how amazing that he just invested in our company and he did it for free. And the reason is because he has been in this industry long enough where he believes in it so much that he's willing to commit an entire day to us and to our team. I want to leave you guys with this prayer, essentially. It's actually Sir Francis Drake's prayer from 1577. So I want you to take a moment, take a deep breath, huff your oils, do what you need to do. And I want you to let this resonate over you. I want you to close your eyes if you need to, not if you're driving, or hopefully you're not watching Zoom and driving. But I just want you to hear this and let it resonate. Disturb us, Lord, when we are too pleased with ourselves, when our dreams have come true because we dreamed too little, when we arrived safely because we sailed too close to the shore. Disturb us, Lord, when the abundance of things we possess, we have lost our thirst for the waters of life. Having fallen in love with life, we've ceased to dream of eternity. And in our efforts to build a new earth, we have allowed our vision of the new heaven to dim. Disturb us, Lord, to dare more boldly, to venture on wilder seas where storms will show you mystery, where losing sight of the land, we shall find the stars. We ask you to push back the horizons of our hope and to push back the future in strength, hope, courage, and love. Thank you guys for being on. If you loved this, you are going to love GoPro. We're going to go head up to everybody hanging out, waiting in the living room at Eric's house to continue masterminding. We'll do our best to bring back what we learned to our teams, but thank you guys again. We're so grateful for you. We're so grateful to the Worres and our amazing company, doTERRA. Have a beautiful day.